now Vijendra has been actively campaigning, not just here but across the state as well. But here there has been resistance. Vijendra tried addressing it while he was campaigning, but which way the voters will vote, all eyes on 13th. At the moment, looks like a tough fight here in Shikaripura as well.
5.3 crore people of Karnataka eligible to vote today, and remember, in the last 38 years we haven't had a successive government or a successive party getting mandate from the people. In the last 4 elections, only in 2013 we've had a clear-cut majority to one party. We've seen fractured mandate. We are at the Mount Carmel College. This is one of the polling stations in Bengaluru, and already we are seeing a lot of people who've turned up, especially senior citizens, and all of them queuing up. Already mock votes have been polled here, and the election commission ensuring that polling stations are ready. They've also ensured there are polling stations which have certain theme. For example, polling station here has a pink booth to encourage women voters to come out in large numbers. In fact, we have some breaking news coming in. Home Minister Amit Shah has put out a tweet on this crucial voting day. He says, on voting day, I urge our sisters and brothers of Karnataka to come out in large numbers to vote for good governance, development, prosperity in the state. Your one vote can ensure a pro-people and pro-progress government that will continue to take state to newer heights. That's Amit Shah maintaining the line that he's maintained in all of his campaigns, that a double-engine Sarkar is what can give Karnataka the boost it requires for development. Once again reiterating in his tweet saying that I ask voters to come out in large numbers for good governance, development and prosperity in the state. Now let's look at the impact that this election will have. There are multiple issues that we have seen over the last 40 days or so ever since campaigning began. The BJP will be hoping that it can break the 38-year trend of a successive party not getting mandate and they can come back to power. The Congress hoping that they can cash in on this anti-incumbency that it's been talking for a
Back on air, Alexa, the beautiful Bengaluru, and this is the Halasuru Lake that you are seeing as we are flying over it. The lake city, garden city, the beautiful Bengaluru, ladies and gentlemen. Air Alexa, this aerial studio will get you a visual delight like nowhere else, and of course like never before we'll try and get you a mix of artificial intelligence, visual mastery or wizardry, and of course the real numbers. What matters on polling day is the votes. Will people come out to vote? The netas are coming out to vote. There is a steady inflow of voters early this morning in the urban areas. Is it also reflecting in the rural areas, in the hinterland? We'll get you those numbers. First, let's quickly go across to Ritu joining us from Varuna. That is the core Lingayat leader constituency. What's happening in Varuna at this point, Ritu?
Well, we are in Varuna at Siddaramaiah Hundi, where you see a lot of voters coming and lining up here to cast their valuable votes. Most of them happen to be senior citizens, and there again one should really not forget that this is the bastion of the former Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, where he won in the 2008, 2013 and 18. He decided 2018 is when that he decided to give this constituency to his son Yatindra, and now Yatindra had also told a couple of times that he happened the accidental politician in fact in 2018, but now he has given back his seat to father Siddaramaiah, and now he is contesting from this constituency.
Siddaramaiah is speaking.
What is your appeal from the voters?
This is Karnataka. The official language is Kannada. You are all asking questions in English. ಮನವಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮತದಾರರು ಎಲ್ಲ ಮತದಾರರು ತಮ್ಮ ಮತ ಚಲಾಯಿಸಬೇಕು ಮತ್ತು ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಭವಿಷ್ಯ ಗಮನದಲ್ಲಿಟ್ಟುಕೊಂಡು ಚಲಾಯಿಸಬೇಕು. ಯಾರು ಪ್ರಜಾಪ್ರಭುತ್ವ ಉಳಿಸ್ತಾರೆ, ಯಾರು ಸಂವಿಧಾನ ಉಳಿಸ್ತಾರೆ, ಯಾರು ರಾಜ್ಯ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ವೋಟ್ ಹಾಕಬೇಕು ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ನನ್ನ ಮನವಿ.
ದೊಡ್ಡ ಮಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಣ ಸೀದಾಗಿರುವಂತದ್ದು ಚುನಾವಣಾ ಆಯೋಗ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಮಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಣದ ಒಳೆ ಅದ್ಭುತ ಈ ಬಾರಿ
ಯಾವಲ್ಲೂ ಅರಿತದೆ, ಹಣ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ ನಾನು. ಈಗ BJP ಅವರಿಗೆ ಹಣ ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ಏನಿದೆ ಹೇಳೋಕ್ಕೆ? ವೋಟರ್ಸ್ ಹತ್ರಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗೋಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ? ಹೋಗಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ರಾಜ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ದಟ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಮನಿ. ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಏನು ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಒಂದು ಮನೆ ಕೊಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಇವತ್ತಿನವರಿಗೆ. 7 kg ಅಕ್ಕಿ 4 kg ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯಾವುದೇ ನೀರಾವರಿ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ?
The former chief minister in Varuna, after casting his vote, asking the present media there to ask him questions in Kannada first and not in English. The tall Kuruba leader and the pollsters say that he still holds sway over the Kuruba votes. One of the most popular faces in Karnataka, popular faces of the Congress party. He said this is his last election. He says that almost every election in the recent past, but he's still there in the fray. And he still eyes that chief ministerial post. He still believes that the Congress party cannot look beyond him if the Congress gets the mandate. That is the strength and the sway of Siddaramaiah ji, not just in Varuna, but amongst his core caste votes, that is the Kuruba votes. Do other leaders hold similar sway? Perhaps the only one to parallel or match him is B.S. Yediyurappa with the Lingayats. Even D.K. Shivkumar doesn't hold that kind of sway among the Vokkaligas, but Mr. H.D. Kumaraswamy does. So these caste-based breakups, is that what is going to dominate the discourse in Karnataka? Or are the voters this time going to buck the always trend and rise above their caste leanings and vote for real issues? It's a big question. But more importantly, they should come out and vote. That's one of the first appeals that even Siddaramaiah ji has made, that people should come out and vote. B.S. Arun joining us at this point. Varuna, his bastion, he continues to remain very popular. His son Yatindra is also reaping the benefits of rising in Siddaramaiah's shadows. But is this going to spill over pan-Karnataka, B.S. Arun? Does the Congress have the edge and will they get the mandate? Or has the voter decided differently this time?
Well, it's very difficult to say, and only May 13th will prove which way it has gone. But the thing is, both the parties have strived their best, especially the BJP over the last 1 week, thanks to some of the follies made by the Congress. And they seem to have taken the advantage, but whether that advantage, the Prime Minister's very, very successful road shows, will they actually translate it to votes? But that we need to see. The Congress has not lagged behind, and they have raised the issues, especially the people's issues, the ground issues, the issues that bother people, like price rise, like corruption, infrastructure problems in the rural areas. These have been raised by Congress, but how far the voters will get swayed by that, or whether they will go by the narrative made by the BJP relating to polarization issues, that we need to see.
Absolutely, B.S. Arunji. What issues dominate and where does the voter actually lean towards? Has Basavaraj Bommai in his limited time period been able to do enough all across Karnataka to buck the 40% corruption charge and also to win the confidence of the BJP voter? Will the BJP voter turn out to vote? The Congress voters, will they rise above their factions, or the individual leaders among their caste heads be able to exert enough influence? Will this fight between Kharge, D.K. Shivkumar, Siddaramaiah actually hurt the Congress? Will those calls that they made in the last leg, did they peak too early and then after that tail out just as the BJP caught wind? And did the Prime Minister maximize? Will that matter? We'll have to see. But what matters today is that the voter has to go out and cast her ballot. There are 112 assembly constituencies where the women voters outnumber the male voters. So the Mahila vote is going to be very, very important. let's look at the voter trends so far. What have been across elections for various parties the trends? For the BJP, it has moved from 34% to 42% and then slipped to 20% in 2013. 2014 they broke back into the 40s and then slipped to 36%, below the 40% mark. But the 2019 Lok Sabha elections, they went up to 52%. The Congress party, its highest was in 2014 at 41%, but thereafter it has slipped a bit to 38% in 2018 and then to 32% in the Lok Sabha. The JDS has also peaked in 2013, then thereafter in 2018 mustered about 18% votes, but after that it slipped. Now here is the challenge, ladies and gentlemen. Can the BJP retain any of it, at least stem the erosion between Lok Sabha and the Vidhana Saudha? Let's say Lok Sabha 2019, it's at 52%. If the BJP and its cadre on ground are able to stem the voter slide to 10% and keep the vote share in the 40s, then the BJP has a strong chance. If the Congress party is able to then eat into the votes that went to the BJP during Lok Sabha 2019 and pull those votes and get in another 10% vote share while holding on to its 32% in 2019, then the Congress is in pole position. These are the key considerations. The spoiler is the JDS. Will it get the kind of traction that it got in 2018? Will it get those 20 seats? Or will it slip down to 10 or 12 seats? And who will benefit or who will pinch those seats? The difference, ladies and gentlemen, and that's where it is critical. And that is why, unless the voter turnout is high, the chances of an absolute clear mandate is also very, very low. Last time it was 72% overall voter turnout, but there are certain pockets that turned out votes only in about 50 to 60% range, including in Bengaluru, which was way below par and below expectations. Bengaluru has to lead from the front this time. Overall, Karnataka has to beat the 2018 number. Let's listen into what Basavaraj Bommai had to say.
While the Chief Minister has been touring across the state, here in Shigao, his very constituency is being handled by his son and his wife, who have been canvassing for him for months on end. I am being joined by Bharat, who is the son of Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai. First things first, what do you gauge from the voters here on the ground?
I think it's a celebratory affair here in Shigao, because I've traversed the entire constituency for almost 30-35 days now, going door to door, and the response has been very good, and I'm very confident that father will win with a huge margin here.
I also want to ask you, this is a Lingayat heavy constituency. With the exit of some high profile leaders like Jagdish Shettar and Lakshman Saudi, do you think that these are going to be spoil sport when it comes to the Lingayat prospects here? Does it actually matter when it comes to Mr. Bommai's candidacy here?
See, here people are very pro-development because they have suffered a lot 30 years back, 15 years back, especially 15 to 20 years back. They know the state of affairs, how the constituency was and how the constituency today is. In the last 15 years, father has been continuously ensuring a lot of development work happens. And here, whatever be the caste dynamics, people only look for development, and people will vote only for pro-development. And because of father's image as well as his development activities that has happened in the constituency, people will ensure that Basavaraj Bommai comes.
Well, there are two parameters on which Chief Minister Bommai is going to be judged. Of course, as the local MLA of Shigao, he is eyeing a fourth term. But when you talk about the issues like hijab, halal, now Bajrang Bali, do you think that this communal disparity that has come up and has been an overriding factor as far as Karnataka election this time is concerned, do you think that is going to put Mr. Bommai at a disadvantage when it comes to the minority communities who have always backed you up in Shigao?
See, I don't think that will have any bearing on the constituency or even throughout the state. like I mentioned, people are, see, Karnataka is a state that is growing. We have reached number 2 in terms of GST collection, highest in FDI. So people are watching the numbers, and people want Karnataka to be number 1. If you have to be the number 1, development is the only agenda. So people are looking into that. Here you will be surprised once the on 13th, once the result starts coming in, you will be surprised with the kind of people and the caste dynamics that we have. All of them will be voting for.
So Bharat Bommai in the Lingayat stronghold for Basavaraj Bommai in Shigaon. You have B.Y. Vijayendra there in Shikaripura. We'll go to Purnima in just a bit. Then there is the son Nikhil Kumaraswamy in Ramanagara, H.D. Kumaraswamy. So that's the Vokkaligas stronghold. We showed you what's happening in Varuna. That is the Siddaramaiah and his son Yatindra stronghold. So there is families. Now talking about families, Tejasvi Surya and his mom, after casting their vote, they are coming out, meeting all the voters, standing there. It's quite a popular face in that region, being very, very active. But will they all deliver for their parties? What is expected out of them? That's the big challenge, because they need to convince the voter to come out and vote. We're urging you in Karnataka, if you're watching us, go out and cast your ballot. We'll take a very short break. Stay with us.
Voting day. He says, on voting day, I urge our sisters and brothers of Karnataka to come out in large numbers to vote for good governance, development, prosperity in the state. Your one vote can ensure a pro-people and pro-progress government that will continue to take state to near heights. That's Amit Shah maintaining the line that he's maintained in all of his campaigns, that a double-engine Sarkar is what can give Karnataka the boost it requires for development. Once again reiterating in his tweet, saying that I ask voters to come out in large numbers for good governance, development and prosperity in the state. Now let's look at the impact that this election will have. There are multiple issues that we have seen over the last 40 days or so, ever since campaigning began. The BJP will be hoping that it can break the 38-year trend of a successive party not getting mandate and they can come back to power. The Congress hoping that they can cash in on this anti-incumbency that it's been talking for a long time. The JDS will be hoping that it can emerge as the kingmaker. The fact that in the last 3 out of 4 elections there have been fractured mandate in Karnataka, the JDS would be hoping that's what will continue this time round. We already see a lot of enthusiasm. We have voters going to various polling stations across Karnataka, here at Mount Carmel College. My colleague Neetu is in Ramnagara and Purnima is in Shikaripura. Remember, that's a constituency where B.S. Yediyurappa and B.Y. Vijayendra will be voting. Let me quickly go to Purnima. Purnima, usually there is voter apathy in urban centers, but we usually see good turnout in rural areas, especially in the first few hours. Is that the case in Shikaripura? What are you seeing there?
Well, yes, people are lining up at the polling booths. We did visit at 6:30 and we saw people already queuing up in the polling booth where Yediyurappa and his family will all set to vote. Right now, we are outside a temple where Yediyurappa, his son Vijayendra, all of them will be here in a short while from now. They will first visit the temple. From here, they will then go to the polling booth. So we are waiting for the family to come here, and they will in fact visit the temple first before they go and cast their votes. But at 6:30, when we did visit 2 polling booths here in Shikaripura, queues were lining up. All of them were waiting to cast their votes. Early voters here lining up at polling booths as well. But at the moment, we are trying to give you visuals of Yediyurappa and his family visiting his temple anytime now. So in the next 5 minutes, there will be development here.
Absolutely. Former Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa are likely to visit a temple. Another former Chief Minister, Siddaramaiah, who's hoping to become the Chief Minister again, is contesting from Varuna. He will be voting from Siddaramaiah Hundi in a short while from now. And my colleague Ritu is at Siddaramaiah Hundi in Varuna. Ritu, what's the mood like there? It's a constituency where the people are hoping that their MLA, or if their candidate who becomes an MLA goes on to become a Chief Minister. What's the mood like there in Siddaramaiah Hundi?
Well, for many here in Siddaramaiah,
Well, that's the Kantirwa Stadium right below me. And that's the beautiful lake, the Alsur Lake, which has been done up. It's a beautiful flight around Bengaluru, ladies and gentlemen, and on a lovely day, little bit of cloudy, slight wind. It just makes for a beautiful scenario on ground. The Kantirwa Stadium, Chinnaswamy Stadium, Alsuru, and then of course the ISKCON temples. Lot of aerial views, visual delights, along with of course the entire electronic city. And talking about electronic city, as we say, welcome back to our viewers. Let's go straight across to those who perhaps are the growth engines of Bengaluru in terms of its tech, it becoming the tech capital of the world. Narayan Murthy and Sudha Murthy.
What are your expectations as prominent residents of Bengaluru?
No, I think, I look at voting as a responsibility that gives me the right to expect Karnataka to look after not just Bangalore, urban Karnataka and rural Karnataka. The betterment of both Karnatakas is as important as just Bangalore. Therefore, I don't look at it purely as voting for Jayanagar or Bangalore.
I feel they have never understood the power of voting. Is it matadan or mat adhikar? Both are very powerful words. This is your right, mat adhikar, or you are giving a dan, matdan. And any democracy, when you want to build a strong, good democracy, it's only through vote. That only brings what you want, what kind of a leader you want, what kind of a changes you want. So I feel if you want the progress of the country, then you should vote. Sitting at the back after a few days and saying that, oh, I knew the results, oh, I knew he is like that. There is no point in talking like that. What have you done to change, or what have you done? What is in your mind? Whom to elect? That you should exercise. Then only you are right to talk.
She has that ability, isn't it, Sudhaji? That she starts talking and you want to listen to her, and she speaks so much sense. There is so much difference in the words matadan and matadhikar. Matadhikar is your right. If voting is your right, go ahead and exercise it, is what she's saying. Don't sit in crib and be a backbencher if you have not cast your vote. Cast your vote and then ask for your right. That's your matadhikar, not matadan, is what she had said. Very well said, Sudhaji and Narayan Murthy ji there. Let's go across to Purnima joining us. Purnima, you are in Shikaripura, I'm given to understand. What's the mood in the Yediyurappa household?
Well, Yediyurappa and his son, who's making his electoral debut, Vijendra, both of them sound confident that this has been a Yediyurappa bastion, and the family is known to the people of Shikaripura. Here, outside a polling booth, you can see people here coming to cast their votes. In fact, from morning, especially between 7 and 8, we saw huge crowds where even Yediyurappa and his family had to wait in that queue to cast their vote. But the challenge here in Karnataka and also in Shikaripura is the voter turnout, which seems to be pretty less. But this time around, the BJP is confident that more people will come out and vote, because that's that's the message that they convey to the voters to come out and vote and not wait till the last minute. You can see here there's also an independent candidate. That's his team here trying to ask people to come out and vote. So a lot of people here queuing up. Totally in this particular booth there are 1,200 voters. More than 500 voters have come out and voted. We'll have to wait and see the voter turnout. By 6 p.m. we'll get more clarity. So but Yediyurappa and his son confident that
you're saying nearly 50% votes in this polling booth have already been cast. So is that a trend normally in Shikaripura? Do people come out early in the morning, vote, and through the hot sun and the midday sun they stay back, and then by about 4 the remaining come back and vote? Is that a trend?
Well, in rural areas, more people come out, especially in the mornings. These are early voters. They come out in the morning and vote. We are talking about one polling booth in Shikaripura where at least 50% of them have come out, especially between 7 and 8 we saw queues. Right now it's a little dull, but you can still see people here queuing up at this hour. But we'll have to wait for the voter turnout. We are given to understand that in Shikaripura, the voter turnout is better compared to a place like Bangalore, where the voter turnout is usually very low. But here they say many people come out and vote, and
so early morning votes have happened. 50% in this polling booth where you're saying the votes have been cast. The remaining 50 should happen. There is a steady trickle. It's not very high numbers. In Bengaluru, it's a different state. Let's try and understand the other part, another part of Karnataka. Let's go back to Ritu. She's in Varuna. Ritu, what is the voting pattern there in Varuna? And this is again amongst the Kurubas largely. So from the Lingayat dominion or dominated area of Shikaripura to the Kuruba dominated stronghold of Siddaramaiah. Yes, Ritu.
So Varuna, again an important constituency for the Siddaramaiah's family, that we do know how that the members in the Varuna had voted for Siddaramaiah. But this time there's a close fight between Siddaramaiah as well as V. Somana, where the BJP has fielded in the Lingayat strong man. But it needs to be seen that how is that the voters are going to decide the fate of the representatives. How as you mentioned, you see the Kurubas are dominant in number, but we do know that Siddaramaiah is a mass leader, and how much that he also enjoys the vote bank of all communities, and moreover you see the works that he had taken up. So the people are looking up to those development works, and however, moreover, you see, V. Somana too had said
to go. The people of Varuna gave chance to Siddaramaiah. Once they should also try and think about the change in the leadership and give him a chance, because he goes on to say that what work, the kind of work that he has done in the Vokkaligas Nagar, which happens to be his traditional constituency. So similar development work will be done in the Varuna as well. So that's the kind of word that the Lingayat strong leader V. Somana is giving. But meanwhile, Siddaramaiah says that the people of Varuna have always supported him, and moreover, it's his last election, so it's also very emotionally connected for the voters and for Siddaramaiah's family members as well. So he says that
I remember him saying that it's his last election the last time around too. But Siddaramaiah ji seems to have that sway. He can play all the cards, and he's a master politician. Will that work again in Kuruba? Will people vote for somebody who's fighting their last election, or people vote for somebody who's coming and saying, listen, this is the work I've done somewhere and this is what I wanted to do? V. Somana is also the housing minister in this Karnataka government, and there is a lot of work which I personally saw when Tejasvi Surya and we were on the campaign trail in Govindrajnagar. But to mount a challenge in the bastion of Siddaramaiah in Varuna, that's a different task altogether. After all, at the end of it all, it's got to be the voter who will have to decide. We'll take a very short break and we'll come back with more. Stay with us.
And now again he felt that this is his safe seat and he should be getting back to Varuna. So that's the reason Siddaramaiah will be contesting from this constituency. But in the visual that you can see, people all showing their ID cards and all set to vote for their representatives. So as you said, the Karnataka is all set to vote for its representatives.
Absolutely, 5.3 crore people eligible to vote this time round. Purnima, coming back to you, Shikaripura, a bastion of B.S. Yediyurappa, has won it multiple times now. It's almost a passing on of the baton to his son, B.Y. Vijendra, who's contesting from there. We've seen protests just before the elections were announced because of the internal reservation, but a heated political campaign too has taken place in Shikaripura.
Well, absolutely. Ever since the BJP was started its elections in Karnataka, it was only Yediyurappa's bastion, except for once in 1999 when he lost, and of course in 2013 the BJP lost when Yediyurappa floated his own party and Yediyurappa won. So now he's passed on the mantle to Vijendra. But as you said, there has been resistance in terms of protests against government's recommendation for internal reservation. But Vijendra in his campaign has time and again said and addressed this particular issue and has promised them that they will definitely consider the protesters' voice will be heard, is something that Vijendra has assured during his campaign. And many say it's Yediyurappa's bastion. This is the first time his son is making his electoral debut. Aggressive campaigns, but it's going to be a tough fight because there has been resistance, and now the Lingayat community, while Yediyurappa says, is 101%.
That's the Vidhana Sauda, ladies and gentlemen, as Air Alexa floats over the city of Bengaluru. The sights and sounds are amazing and it's a fantastic view from right on top. But we're going to keep the focus on what's happening on ground zero. That is polling day. It's the time for people to go out and cast their ballot. And here on CNN News 18, along with getting you breathtaking election news coverage and experience, we'd also want to urge you, the voter, to please go out and vote. Let's go back to Ritu in Varuna, where Siddaramaiah is soon supposed to come out and cast his ballot. Yes, Ritu?
What? Yeah, visual.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Ritu, go ahead, please.
So when see now we can see
to cast his vote, where his father Siddaramaiah too will be here shortly, any moment now. It's an important conference that we're talking about the strong vote of Siddaramaiah, where now Siddaramaiah, the former chief minister, have arrived here at Karnataka Assembly to cast the political vote. Now this is an important constituency for this family, he has gone on to win from 2013 and also in 2018. And now again in 2023, he decided to contest from Burma after the High Command told him to be here to stick around the Burma constituency. State government as well like now the Congress
Well, we try and sort the audio with you, Ritu, because the audio not very clear, because she has tried to make her way inside into that area where Siddaramaiah will be coming in very soon with his family to cast the ballot. There is a steady stream of voters. B.S. around 5 crore voters. B.S. Arunji is with us. B.S. around 5 crore voters. Last time around 72% turnout, if my memory serves me right, in 2018. I'm talking about the Vidhana Sabha elections or the Vidhana Sabha elections. In this time around, would you want that voter turnout to be higher? Or would you want it to be in that 75 average, but especially in those pockets where, you know, large chunk of voters didn't turn out, they should come out and vote? Because even if we look at about 4 crore voters turning out to vote, that's a decisive mandate. But that would also mean 1 crore people decided that they don't want to cast their ballot. Where do you stand on this importance of wanting to go out to vote? B.S. Arun, can you hear me? Oh, we just seem to have lost B.S. Arun there. We'll try and go across to B.S. Arun in just a bit. We'll also try and get you which are the big fights, which are the fights to watch out for, which constituencies to watch out for after we listen into Prahlad Joshi.
I have come here to cast the vote now, and I am collecting the information from the beginning. Everywhere it is peaceful. I am so happy people are celebrating this festival of democracy in a big way. Morning itself, wherever I have called, there is a good number of voters. They are coming out and coming to the polling stations, and this shows that people are interested to bring again double engine Sarkar under the leadership of Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi. BJP will form the government on its own.
Very good response from the people. People support is always, I am telling, there is undercurrent is there, and a lot of people, all caste people, all classes people, everybody is working for me and voting for the Congress and Jagdish Shettar. With a huge margin, I will get elected. People have decided to vote for the Jagdish Shettar, who developed this area, and he is pro people, and always he is working for the welfare of this region.
Former Karnataka Chief Minister Jagdish Shettar there speaking with CNN News 18, and here is a former Chief Minister who hopes to be Chief Minister again. Siddaramaiah there getting his finger inked and then walking across to cast his ballot. And he's been followed by his son Yatindra, who's also present. So as Siddaramaiah goes in to cast his vote. The Matadikar, as Sudha Murthy ji said, the right to vote has been exercised by the former Chief Minister, who's urging everybody to come out and vote in large numbers. He's confident of a massive Congress win. Has been saying right since the beginning that the Congress will breach the 125 number and will be in pole position comfortably, will not have to lean on the JDS like it had to last time to form a government. As he walks out after casting his vote and showing the finger where the ink has been marked, the index finger, the right index finger where the vote ink has been marked, he has cast his ballot. Now his supporters present inside the polling booth. Will he step out now? We should even see Yatindra. We should even see Yatindra come in. Plenty of daylight there, and that's why from a dark room right outside into broad daylight, you'd see some of the visuals burning. We'll adjust, the camera will adjust to the light in just a bit, and the images will get clearer. There you go. So better we are expecting Ritu is live with us. Ritu, so Siddaramaiah casting his vote. You're right there as he's about to step out. His son Yatindra also with him. Yes, Ritu, go ahead. Ritu, can you hear me? I think chaotic scenarios or scenes there. That's what happens, ladies and gentlemen. There's a jostle, hustle, bustle, and then everybody. Yeah. Ritu, can you hear me now? Ritu, we are live with you. Siddaramaiah inside, Yatindra inside, casting their vote. Ritu, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Ritu, if you can hear me, take us through what's going on. There seems to be a bit of a chaos outside. People are waiting for Siddaramaiah to step out and speak. There he steps out.
Well, exactly. You can see now the former Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, after casting his vote, is coming out, stepping out of the polling station here that you can see in the visual. Now this again, you see finally that Varuna constituency, he is also showing his finger that he has casted vote and giving a message out to a lot of people, saying them to come out and cast their valuable vote. So it is an important day, as Siddaramaiah says, it's a festival. democracy, and the one should really ensure that they take full utilize this such a beautiful setup of the Indian Constitution. So that's the kind of request that the former CM is also making. Now you see, after casting his vote along with his now what we are given to understand is that Yatindra is still casting his vote inside in the booth, while former Chief Minister Siddaramaiah is walking out of this booth. But yes, we do know that how close this constituency is to his family members. Every time Varuna has given him full support with a huge majority as well. He there you can see in the visual, he is showing his finger that the ink in basically that one can really see on his finger, showing that how important it is for more and more people to come out along with his along with their family members, and the first time voters should come out and vote. Moreover, remember what Siddaramaiah also said, that the people should vote for those who save the constitution, and also the development should be the key focus for one while casting the vote. So that's the kind of word that Siddaramaiah had put out before casting his vote. But moreover, this again, as you see, there is a huge support that he really enjoys, the kind of popularity that the mass leader Siddaramaiah has it. Now remember, there's also been a lot of controversy that has taken place about the CM face as well. So that's where you see now Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar about the CM face there. While we do know that how former CM Siddaramaiah had gone on to say that he is the strong aspirant of CM post, and DK Shivakumar is also in the line, but in this election they are trying to put out unity, trying to show the unity where they are. There you can see in the visual Yatindra, the son of former Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, in the visual after casting his vote. He is also out now walking along with his father. Now we'll have to see that from where they are really going to head from here to his house, or will he be meeting? Usually he does meet most of his friends in the Varuna as well. He does have a lot of good friends here in the Varuna, the childhood friends as well. Remember, while talking to most of the voters too told that how much that the Siddaramaiah has done in this constituency, and what they're really looking forward to is the kind of development that he will bring, more development. But meanwhile, there has also been a request that the voters have made it to Siddaramaiah that the Varuna to be considered as the taluk. But however, the kind of 5 guarantees that the Congress party had put out, so now Siddaramaiah says those are the local issues that are really matter for the voters, and Congress party is really committed to ensure that all those guarantees that all those guarantees will come through once they are out. Well, that's there.
So it looks like Siddaramaiah and his son Yatindra have done all the talking before they come to the polling booth. He's right now saying he's not going to speak. The media waiting there, wanting to get a word in from Siddaramaiah, who has actually told his constituency that this is his last election. He wants to win and he wants to be Chief Minister one more time.
There is a tremendous response. Tremendous response from the voters. Unexpected response from the voters. See, I will get, out of the polled votes, I will get more than 60% of the votes.
Sir, what is the number you are going to get?
Number I can't say exactly, but it will be, in Karnataka, 130 to 150. 150. 130 to minimum 130. Minimum 130, maximum 150 seats we will get. Congress party would come back to power on its own with comfortable majority.
President of Basuraj Bommai has said that they are very much confident of coming with full majority and they will be forming the government.
All parties are confident. Ultimately, 13th will decide. The counting will decide.
Sidhu sir, you also told that this is going to be your last election as well. Is this also an
As far as I am concerned, electoral politics is my last election. This is going to be my last election. I will continue in active politics. I am not going to retire. I am not going to retire, but I am not going to contest again.
Sir, B.S. Yadurappa has said that you will lose and V. Somana will win.
What do you have to say about
Ultimately, it is not Yadurappa is going to. He is not a vote of this constituency. He is not a vote of this constituency. I will win 100%.
So madam, 1 minute.
Madam, aitala madam.
Sir, one line appeal, high percent of voters, sir. One line appeal for the people of Karnataka, high percentage of voters.
Well, that's the big headline coming in from Siddaramaiah. Whereas he's cast his ballot, he says this is his last electoral foray. This is the last election he's contesting. He will continue to be active in politics, but he will not contest elections hereafter. After casting his ballot, Siddaramaiah says this.
My appeal to voters is don't miss to vote. Please don't miss to vote. And vote the political party which having concerns for the poor and downtrodden of the people.
Vote for the party that has concerns for the poor and downtrodden. This is my last electoral foray. I will not contest elections after this. Ritu in the thick of all the action, but she was the one, I believe, who asked this question, will you contest again? And he said no. More importantly, he said that he's confident of a strong win of the Congress party and that the party will form a government on their own. But ultimately, everybody is confident. The BJP is confident. The Congress is confident. Is the voter confident about their mandate? Is the voter confident about their vote? Is the voter going to come out and is the voter going to make every vote count? That's the big question, and that's what Siddaramaiah said. Ultimately, it depends on the voter, and it will all come to fruition on counting day. Harish Upadhyay also with us. Harish, in the thick of all the action, whereabouts are you today?
Well, we are in RMV second stage, and you can see good response here. In fact, a lot of senior citizens too, despite difficulty in terms of reaching the polling booth, they have come here. Thankfully, the Election Commission has made arrangements for wheelchair for people who can't walk up till the polling booth here, or the voting room. And we have seen a lot of first-time voters and a lot of senior citizens who've come here. That's been the trend in Bengaluru. Remember, Karnataka has a significant chunk of new voters who've been enrolled over the last 6 to 8 months, and we are seeing a good turnout in that category. Just going back to what Siddaramaiah said, remember, that's an important statement that he says, although this is my last election, he says, I will be active in politics. It's just that this will be my last electoral battle. So if DK Shivakumar ever was thinking that post 2028 his road becomes clear, probably Siddaramaiah is saying that I'm not going away anytime soon. I will be active in politics.
Well, there are many within the Congress party who are saying that this is their last election. There is somebody who is now defected from the BJP into the Congress party who's also saying it's their last election. Jagdish Shettar has said that. Mallikarjun Kharge has said that. Siddaramaiah has said that. Everybody is saying last election. Are they trying to pull out the sentiment or the emotional card? Or is it really their last? Because they keep saying that, but they keep continuing to remain there. Such is perhaps the adrenaline rush of politics, ladies and gentlemen, and that too electoral politics. But Harish, where all have you been overall? And what's the voter trend, especially Bengaluru? If you've been up and about across Bengaluru, is Bengaluru stepping up to vote? Because last time around, many believe that the 28 seats of Bengaluru is what brought the voter average down to 72% in 2018. It should have been near the 80% mark had Bengaluru turned out in absolute numbers or larger numbers.
Absolutely. Last time, perhaps the overall city average was around 52%. In fact, some of the constituencies saw around 45-48% of voting. That was abysmal. That, as you rightly mentioned, brought down the whole state's polling percentage. In the initial few hours, we have seen Bengaluru's poll percentage being on par with the state average. That's something that is of relief. But remember, in parts of rural Karnataka, we will see voter turnout increasing in the last 3 hours, especially between 4 and 6. We will see the voter percentage increasing substantially. But if Bengaluru doesn't, follow the trend, then we will see once again Bengaluru's polling percentage being just around 50%, 50-52%. There's a worry. Also, the other important point is the BJP wants the Bengaluru's polling percentage to increase. They have 2 points here. They are saying we have a huge support base in Bengaluru, but a substantial of them are just supporting us online. We want them to hit the ground, come to the polling station and vote, and only then will our vote share increase and our chances in certain seats will increase in Bengaluru. And they're hoping Prime Minister's rally over the weekend is something that will really force some of these people to actually come out and vote. Remember, there was a huge turnout for the Prime Minister's rally on Saturday and Sunday, and the BJP hoping that will push some people to come and vote.
Well, Harish, just moving away from you because we've got visuals from Ramanagara. H.D. Kumaraswamy has now stepped out along with Nikhil Kumaraswamy to cast his vote. The JDS, is it an active player this time? Because the last time around they were also largely silent, but they walked away. There was an erosion in their hold, and there has been a steady erosion in the JDS foothold across in Karnataka politics. But H.D. Kumaraswamy did turn kingmaker. Those 10, 15, 20 seats, if they swing H.D. Kumaraswamy's way, then he can sit there pretty and say, whoever is the first party, but not past the post, will have to come to me. And then H.D. Kumaraswamy then had his say at that time. Let's go across to Neetu Raghukumar joining us from Ramanagara. Yes, Neetu.
So Kumaraswamy, along with his family, Anita Kumaraswamy, Nikhil Kumaraswamy, and Nikhil Kumaraswamy's wife is here at this polling booth in Ramanagara district. This is in this constituency here. They are about to cast their vote. The entire family is here. They are waiting at the polling booth, and they will be entering soon to cast their vote. This is actually the Mandi constituency, though this is in Ramanagara district. So Nikhil Kumaraswamy is not actually the candidate here, but the entire family has their vote in this polling booth here in Ramanagara.
Well, what is the mood? Is Mr. Kumaraswamy inclined to speak? Nikhil inclined to speak right now? What are their chances of the JDS? Have they showed? Is there any outpouring of support where they have campaigned? Will they do better than 2018 this time, Neetu? What's the mood on ground?
See, they are hoping that they will do better than 2018. Actually taken out an entire yatra. Even now, from early morning, if you look at this booth where we are standing, this booth has only about 700 voters, but people were only coming in ones and twos. But right now, when the family has reached, we can see that people have come around here. They have come to see him. He stays very close by, in the sense his family's farmhouse is very close by to this place, but still people have come here. Now, on the ground, if you look at it, for JDS, this is a make or break situation, because from 2004, if you look at, their numbers have been reducing. So Kumaraswamy has also campaigned extensively. He has taken out that entire yatra, and they are saying that not just in their traditional vote bank, be it the Old Mysore region, or appealing to the traditional community, the Vokkaligas community, which has been their traditional vote base, they are trying to expand it further, and that is a hope that they are showing at this time. If you look at Ramanagara, this has been a bastion for the JDS and for the Kumaraswamy family himself, right from H.D. Devegowda to Kumaraswamy to Anita Kumaraswamy, and now Nikhil Kumaraswamy contesting from this constituency.
Yes, they are stepping in, going in to cast their ballot. Very quiet, not wanting to speak with the media. Nikhil Kumaraswamy there along with Anita Kumaraswamy and H.D. Kumaraswamy going in to cast their vote in Ramanagara. Largely very quiet, but are they playing a silent game, or is there going to be an erosion in the JDS votes for the benefit of the Congress or the BJP remains a question. Neetu, you've been up and about and you have come in largely, you ply your wares in Kerala, but in Karnataka this time around, what has been the mood on ground? Have you been able to interact? And even at this constituency, has there been a steady inflow of voters since morning?
See, here, as we said, when we look at it, the number of people coming into vote has been in ones and twos. There has never been a large queue during this time, and it's mostly elderly that we are seeing here in the constituency that we have seen. We saw a young voter who has come from Bangalore to just cast her vote. She said that it is everybody's responsibility.
Well,
so,
even as H.D. Kumaraswamy is casting his ballot, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in Rajasthan. He is in Sirohi in Rajasthan. He is also scheduled to. He's also scheduled to launch a development project of the railways that is redoing the entire Udaipur railway station today. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Sirohi in Rajasthan right now. He is going to spend quite some time in Rajasthan today. He will be addressing this rally in Sirohi, where he will be addressing a roadshow. He will be holding a roadshow, addressing a rally, and also dedicating several projects, committing several projects, along with the inauguration of projects. Earlier, he was scheduled to also visit the Srinathji temple. So, this is Abu Road in Sirohi, and then he was also supposed to be going to Nathdwara to offer his respects at the Srinathji temple. He will dedicate and lay the foundation stone of infrastructure projects worth over 5,500 crores during this visit. There are multiple road and rail sector projects which are now going to be launched to boost connectivity. He will be laying the foundation stone, like I said, for the redevelopment of the Udaipur railway station. He is scheduled to visit the Shantivan complex of the Brahma Kumaris on Abu Road and lay the foundation stone for the super speciality charitable global hospital. Arun Danta is joining us. Arun, polls sometime in October, November in Rajasthan this year. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on ground in Sirohi in Rajasthan. Nathdwara to meeting the Brahma Kumaris on Abu Road. Is this perhaps the beginning of the BJP's campaign for Rajasthan?
Absolutely, Anand, absolutely. Prime Minister Modi, without wasting any time, we've seen him continuously in Karnataka in the past couple of days, and now on today he is on the soil of Rajasthan, and he has a very jam-packed schedule, Anand, there in Rajasthan. Of course, he will be laying foundation stone for various projects, which of course includes the road construction projects and upgradation of two-lane projects from in Udaipur. And apart from that, of course, he will be visiting Brahma Kumari Center as well. There will be a road show as well. And apart from that, of course, Prime Minister Modi will be addressing a gathering as well in his visit to Abu Road, Udaipur. And therefore, Prime Minister Modi is sending a clear signal that he is not in resting mode at all. We've seen him in back-to-back road shows and rallies in Karnataka. In fact, he has done around 16
right. So this is a mega roadshow there on Abu Road in Sirohi in Rajasthan. Huge number of people turning out. A lot of the BJP support on ground. The BJP hoping to cash in on the anti-incumbency as they claim against the ruling disposition and Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot. There is again a huge amount of friction within the Congress party. But the BJP also doesn't have a clear face or a clear leader in Rajasthan. Aman Sharma now joins us with more. Aman, so the Prime Minister on that path to Vikas and now committing several projects in Rajasthan, including the redevelopment of the Udaipur railway station, projects worth more than 5,500 crores to be either dedicated to the people or launched now.
So absolutely. See, I think with the Karnataka election today ending, clearly the BJP and the Prime Minister is looking at the elections coming up in the all-important states of Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, and especially this development pitch, the double-engine Sarkara, as the PM has been stressing in his campaign in Karnataka. The same issue is there in Rajasthan. You know, BJP leaders have been saying earlier that if the same government is in power in the center and in the state, which is the BJP. The development of the state is faster. The development of the state is without any hurdles. And, otherwise the opposition ruled states keep on arguing with the center. So all these development, I think there's a clear pattern now that before an important state election, all these development schemes are showcased. All the development schemes in a poll-bound state are fast-tracked. And the Prime Minister himself leading the charge. We see him as this roadshow in Rajasthan. And these roadshows have also become a part of, every PM's campaign. We have seen that in Karnataka. They have become central to all campaign plans and even post-PM visits now to various states. We saw that earlier in Tamil Nadu. Now we are seeing it today in Rajasthan. The popularity of the PM and this personal connect, the people can see the PM up close in a roadshow, which is not going to be possible in a rally. So both the development push and the PM's personal connect with the people, the BJP going fast-tracking it and BJP going all ahead with it, and we are seeing these pictures there from Rajasthan.
Well, the state and the center have been at loggerheads. Now, is there going to be this entire case made? Because time and again, the BJP has said a lot of the projects, welfare schemes that have been launched by the center, the state in Rajasthan under the leadership of Ashok Gehlot have not actively cooperated. Meanwhile, Ashok Gehlot and the Congress have turned around and said, no, we are doing significant work in Rajasthan. It's the center which has been unable to make any inroads or do anything, contribute positively towards the cause of Rajasthan.
Absolutely. See, the BJP has been making this case in various states, not just Rajasthan, even Telangana for that matter, or other states which are ruled by the opposition, be it even in Tamil Nadu, that, the parties which are not, the other parties which are in power, be it the DMK or be it the Congress, do not implement central schemes properly in those states because they don't want the center and Mr. Modi to get the credit of those schemes. We have seen a number of welfare schemes, in fact, being launched by Ashok Gehlot in Rajasthan in the last 2 months. The most importantly being the health scheme that he has launched for free treatment of people in government and private hospitals in Rajasthan. Private hospital part had to be rolled back later after protest, but this has been a regular scheme, and the BJP, I think in his address, we should wait for it. But the PM is going to stress very importantly that it is important to have a BJP government in a state because then the development is fast-tracked, the schemes are fast-tracked. In fact, the schemes reach the last mile and beneficiaries are actually get that scheme in their bank account. That money which is coming, and we have seen that in example in Karnataka, for example, where he said that the PM Kisan Nidhi scheme, for example, 6,000 rupees is sent by the center, but the BJP government in Karnataka was adding rupees 4,000 above that, and every farmer effectively was getting 10,000 rupees in Karnataka. Same kind of pitches can be done by the BJP government in Rajasthan if it is comes to power next year. The schemes will be more properly implemented. That is expected to be the PM's pitch in Rajasthan as well.
Yes. Now, but with Rajasthan, is this also the Prime Minister's effort to shift the focus away from the regional satraps and the regional faces even within the BJP? Is this to try and say that the BJP will fight a faceless campaign this time around and that Rani Sahiba will not actually be the face of the BJP?
Well, that's a $1 million question, and BJP has not played its cards out yet on it because there is still some time to go for the Rajasthan election, about 5 months. But clearly, the BJP does suffer the crisis of having a strong face in Rajasthan. In the Congress, the crisis is of having maybe too many faces. Ashok Gehlot and Sachin Pilot fight is playing out in the open now in Rajasthan. And I think the Prime Minister and the BJP is also pointing out to the voters in Rajasthan that look at the infighting in the Congress in Rajasthan. That is because the development in Rajasthan is suffering. The former Deputy CM and the PCC chief of the Congress in Rajasthan, Mr. Sachin Pilot, is openly attacking the Chief Minister. And how will a state be governed if the top two leaders of the state of the Congress party are bitterly fighting with each other? In that way, I think the BJP is trying to put up a cohesive house that it is a party led by the Prime Minister and will obviously decide on its fate. After the election, who the CM will be? Will it be Rani
Well,
Sahiba,
now we have the exclusive pictures, Aman, of the Prime Minister praying at Nadwara at Srinathji. So this is not so far away from Udaipur, and this was the schedule. These are pictures from earlier in the day. So even as he touched down in Rajasthan this time around, he has made sure he first goes to Srinathji. This is a revered temple, and there is crores of devotees who throng towards Srinathji. Frankly, for me, it brings back memories because I did my early schooling in Udaipur, and Srinathji was a regular visit. And this is one of the biggest temples for those Krishna Bhakts in all of Rajasthan and across the country. So the Prime Minister at this Srinath ji, before he makes his way towards Sirohi Abu Road, and where again he is going to be visiting the Brahmakumari ashram, which is there in Mount Abu. This entire region, this pocket, the difference between Marwar and Mewad, that comes to the fore. Udaipur and this entire region, development of this region, taking the discourse beyond Jaipur, significant. Pallavi Ghosh also with us, Aman Sharma still with us. Pictures at Srinath ji and Prime Minister Narendra Modi paying his respects at Srinath ji. Pallavi.
Very, very pertinent and significant, I would say. One, the Prime Minister's visit and also visiting the temple, which is considered to be one of the most devout deities really in Rajasthan and elsewhere as well. But Anand, this is all coming at a time when we are going to see elections in the state in a couple of months' time. But more importantly, just yesterday, we saw that the knives were out, gloves were off. The Congress party's massive infighting completely came out to the fore. Sachin Pilot versus Ashok Gehlot. Accompanying the Prime Minister, of course, as per protocol, is the Rajasthan Chief Minister, Mr. Ashok Gehlot. But, you know, I think that's going to be an important point. The Prime Minister going ahead with the developmental work, very clearly sending out that message that you may be... And I remember the Prime Minister, when he was last time round in Rajasthan, had made a reference to the fact that while the Congress party is fighting with each other, we are here to do our job, which is essentially to ensure that development takes place for the people of Rajasthan. Also, the very quick messaging which goes across is that the Congress party is soaked in infighting and never provide you a stable government. You only have to then look at the BJP.
But the Prime Minister, if that infighting outed between Ashok Gehlot and also Sachin Pilot, Pallavi, it also outed the role of Vasundhara Raje Scindia in Rajasthan. Now, is that going to hurt Vasundhara Raje's cause, even though she has said that this is the worst insult that Ashok Gehlot could have ever hurled at me?
You know, the whispers in the corridors of Pan Rajasthan, and that's an insinuation which often comes in from Sachin Pilot supporters, is that Ashok Gehlot has been soft on Vasundhara Raje Scindia and vice versa. I mean, you also cover the BJP, so you would know this better, Anand, that the BJP has been very, very careful about announcing any kind of a CM face, particularly in Rajasthan. Vasundhara Raje Scindia, charismatic, a very tall veteran leader. I don't think any political party, and certainly not the BJP, can avoid, kind of afford to, oust her or afford to antagonize her. And she's certainly going to be one of the most high-profile faces as far as Rajasthan politics go. I think Vasundhara Raje Scindia's very strong outburst and scorching of all those allegations and points made by Ashok Gehlot was essentially also a message she was sending out to her party that please don't go by this whisper campaign against me, because it only tries to demoralize our cadre and also show me down.
Yes, interestingly, Srinath ji has its own story, Pallavi and Aman, that this is again infant Krishna, 7-year-old Krishna Swarupa. That's the presiding deity at Srinath ji. In Nath Dwara, it itself means the Dwar or the gateway towards the Nath or Jagannath. That is Krishna. So a similar Swarupa is found in Karnataka, in Udupi Sri Krishna, in Kerala, as far as Guruvayur temple is concerned. But interestingly, Aman, the story of Nathdwara itself is that this deity was shifted from Jatpura in Mathura near the Govardhan hill. From there in 1672, it was shifted out because of the Akrantas at that time and to protect the deity, and the deity was shifted to Rajasthan. Many believe that also the presiding deity in Mathura was also shifted and is currently resides somewhere in Jaipur. So there is a lot of history also with Srinath ji, but Prime Minister making his visit to Srinath ji also underlying his commitment.
Absolutely. It's a strong message of both devotion as well as development. As we know, after visiting the temple, he's going to inaugurate and lay foundation stone of projects worth over rupees 5,500 crores. But I would find also the images of Mr. Ashok Gehlot receiving him in Nathdwara very interesting. You know, I think that picture where Mr. Ashok Gehlot is smiling at Mr. Modi, the detractors and Mr. Ashok Gehlot, especially the Sachin Pilot camp, may, prop up this picture as well to show that though it's a part of political courtesy, and, we have seen the Telangana Chief Minister not turn up to receive the Prime Minister when the Prime Minister visited the state, but Ashok Gehlot showing that political courtesy and the protocol of receiving the Prime Minister at Nathdwara and, being there while he'll be launching all these projects today. A lot of projects being launched for connectivity, for road and railway sector, to upgradation of many two-lane projects in Udaipur and Rajasthan both. So clearly, I think the development pitch is strong, and we should also remember that Karnataka is voting today, and watching these pictures on screen, a very subtle messaging by the Prime Minister, both on the front of devotion as well as strong development pitch in Rajasthan.
Well, will that have an effect, or has now Prime Minister now become a past master of how to scout the model code and also to continue to send the message across? Or would you see it as a pre-planned function or a program based on his itinerary where he is continuing on the path? Karnataka, now it is up to the voter. The campaigning is over. Whatever has to be done, the mind of the voter would have been made, and she and he would go down and cast their ballot, Aman. But in Rajasthan, is this going to be a tricky one? Because what the fate of Karnataka, will it impact? What happens in Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan, three big states that are also going to come up for polls ahead of Lok Sabha 2024. His meeting all the pundits there, playing, giving the respects, the historical significance of Srinathji itself, the importance in the Vaishnava Parampara, even all followers of Advaita Vedanta, or more importantly, those who remember the history, that this presiding deity, this Balakrishna, should actually have been in Vrindavan, but was moved out just to protect it from a marauding and invading Aurangzeb. So that's also another history of Srinathji.
Absolutely. And the point you mentioned about Karnataka, obviously BJP is looking at the Karnataka state very, very closely. And, Congress obviously would want to win Karnataka to carry on the momentum, especially after the Bharat Jodo Yatra, and show it as a victory, show it as an impact of the Bharat Jodo Yatra and Rahul Gandhi's disqualification. But I think in the last 10 days in Karnataka, the BJP put up a very, very strong comeback, a very, very strong fight the BJP put up. It's a close election, touch and go, as many people are saying. And obviously, if we remember from 2018, though BJP was the single largest party in Karnataka, it could not form the government. BJP lost in Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, but came back with an even bigger number in the 2019 Lok Sabha election. So I think the voter is very clearly differentiating now between a Lok Sabha election and a state election. The state election is being fought on state issues, local issues, and I think that is what is going to determine the Karnataka election. But obviously the BJP clearly putting it the point, and the word that the PM used for Karnataka, to make Karnataka number one state. I think it was a strong pitch on development, and a similar kind of pitch now when we see the PM later going for his developmental programs and his speech significantly. I think he's going to focus a lot that how BJP could bring that difference back to Rajasthan, and BJP was bringing that development to Rajasthan when it was in power 4 years back, and how that process may have been halted after the BJP went out of power in Rajasthan.
The spotlight shifts, but the Prime Minister tireless. Even today, Sadananda Gowda had said, Aman, that the Prime Minister has swung at least 2 to 3% votes with his roadshows. Would you want to credit the Prime Minister more? Because many believe that the BJP got some energy into its entire campaign only in the last 10 or 15 days, purely because of the adrenaline that has been injected by Prime Minister.
Absolutely. See, I think that I could split the Karnataka election, Anand, in two ways. Before pre-25 April, when we thought that the Congress was setting the agenda, maybe it had an edge. But I think things changed post the Congress manifesto and the self-poll that the Congress did by announcing that it would ban the Bajrang Dal, and then the PM's roadshows in Mysore, and especially the one in Bangalore. I think the two-day roadshow in Bangalore really set the agenda, and the Prime Minister cashing in on the point that, first, he was called a poisonous snake by Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge. That gave the PM, a point to attack the Congress. And especially this Bajrang Dal controversy, I think Lord Hanuman became a theme of the last week's election. And no better than the PM to, send this message across to the voters that, by banning the Bajrang Dal, the Congress was in fact attacking the devotion that people have for Bajrang Bali. And obviously the last thing which happened is that infamous tweet by the Congress social media handle on the speech of Sonia Gandhi about the sovereignty and integrity part. Again, the Prime Minister on the last day of the campaign peered into the Congress on that point. I think these three events, the poisonous snake remark of Mr. Kharge, the Bajrang Dal ban promise, and the sovereignty tweet by the Congress, these three things gave a lot of ammunition to the BJP, and the Prime Minister has totally encashed on it in the last 10 days. Definitely, BJP had a strong spring in its step in the last 10 days of the campaign, and BJP feels that though the Congress peaked early in its campaign, BJP peaked in the Karnataka campaign when it really mattered in the last 10 days, and people really decide which way they're going to vote in an election.
Well, how does that swing fortunes for respective parties? We'll have to wait and watch. The voters in Karnataka have to cast their ballot. But then shifting focus to Rajasthan, now with Prime Minister with a roadshow is actually not a roadshow in Nathdwara. It's actually just a darshan at Srinathji in Nathdwara, and the roadshow is in Abu Road in Sirohi. So we just make that correction on our screens. But more importantly, with the BJP is also quite fractured in Rajasthan. Is this also a message saying that everybody needs to just rally behind the Prime Minister if Rajasthan has to be won at two levels, the state level and also at the central level for Lok Sabha? Is this a message to the likes of, Vijay Sindhya, Mrs. Sindhya, Rani Saiba, if you were to look at her, also to others, aspirants like Punia, like Arjun Ram Meghwal, like Gajendra Shekhawat, like Rajyavardhan Rathod, and some of the other leaders who, who are all within the fray to try and take perhaps pole position or emerge as the face of the BJP. Do you believe this is perhaps setting the groundwork that the BJP's campaign in Rajasthan this time will be a faceless one?
Absolutely.
Read CP Joshi also,
BJP realizes that there are challenges in Rajasthan, and Pallavi would be able to better say it from the Congress side. But there are challenges in Rajasthan. Obviously, there are camps, be it the Gajendra Shekhawat camp or the Vasundhara Raje camp, who gets the prominence, and there is a lot of talk that will BJP again project Vasundhara Raje as the CM face, or will it go for a faceless election? That is a call that the BJP still has to take. But increasingly, it seems like BJP will fight the Rajasthan election on the plank of its development pitch, on the plank of Narendra Modi as the PM face who's leading the campaign. And it seems like the message here is that, like they fought it in Karnataka, like with Mr. Yediyurappa and Mr. B.S. Bommai, projecting a united front, the similar kind of front should be projected in Rajasthan. And the focus should be on Prime Minister Modi and strengthening the hands of the BJP government at the centre by winning Rajasthan. And even in 2019, BJP had swept Rajasthan in the Lok Sabha elections, winning all seats. Even Mr. Ashok Gehlot's son could not win the election in 2019 from Jodhpur.
Yeah, because many would say that Mr. Ashok Gehlot has pulled up Vasundhara Raje's name or thrown it up there. Many would see it as a jibe or an insult, but also it brings her, puts the spotlight on her. Now, is this visit today at various levels trying to say that where the spotlight should actually shine? Because she still holds sway over at least 60 to 65 of the MLAs within the BJP.
Absolutely. I think the BJP has been taking a lot of enjoyment in what is happening in the Congress camp. I remember the last time when PM held an event with Mr. Ashok Gehlot was present, Mr. PM took a jibe saying, "I'm thankful to Mr. Gehlot for coming at this program at a time when there is a crisis in the Congress in Rajasthan." And, obviously Mr. Gehlot praising Ms. Vasundhara Raje for saving her government will not go down so well in the BJP, and that is why we saw the vehement denial and opposition by Vasundhara Raje to Mr. Ashok Gehlot's statement, because obviously there are these doubts in the BJP that Mr. Ashok Gehlot...
Aman, just pause. We got a lovely picture of the Prime Minister being given a portrait of Srinathji. It's a big one, and that itself shows, if you see the Srinathji deity and the images of the deity or the portraits, representations of the deity, you would see the left hand which is up, and the left hand is up because the deity is holding the Govardhan on the little finger. That is the representation of Balakrishna at 7 years old, and that entire instance of the Govardhan lifting. And that's why it is very clearly evident and chronicled that due to the invasion of Aurangzeb and to save and protect the deity from the invasion of Aurangzeb, the deities from Mathura, from Vrindavan, from Govardhan were all shifted, and they were all moved towards the Rajput strongholds in Rajasthan, where they were saved and protected, and they still find their place. And there are many who still go there for their darshan. Now, these are pictures away from the temple, away from Srinathji, in Sirohi, on ground in Rajasthan. Aman is still with us. Pallavi Ghosh is with us. Pallavi, is this a message that even if there is a fracture or friction within the Congress party, within the BJP, the face is going to be the Prime Minister, state or centre, and that all those warring factions, including Rani Saiba, have to now fall in line?
Well, isn't that usually the case, Anand, when it comes to the BJP? Like over here where I am in Karnataka on a polling day, multiple messages which goes out. But in Karnataka too, BJP has its own share of infighting, exits. But people over here on the ground do accept and admit the fact that in the last 2 to 3 days, there has been a change in the whole feel or the poll scene, I would say. And it was largely because of the 2 road shows done by the Prime Minister and the several big bang rallies he does. His message to the people of Karnataka that you vote for a double engine ki sarkar, you vote for the same party in part of the center at the state level, is also a message which the Prime Minister is now carrying with him to Rajasthan. Again, there are development projects which are planned, like tomorrow, the renovated development of the Udaipur railway station is something which is going to be inaugurated by the Prime Minister. Those pictures are already out. So what the message goes across from the Prime Minister is that he's the Prime Minister of the country. He's sending a message of development. That's only possible if you actually end up voting for the BJP. And even while there's infighting, bickering happening in the other political parties, at the end of the day, it's the Prime Minister who carries on with his job and his message, or, the sandesh of development. That, I think, is again the pitch he's taking now to yet another poll-bound state of Rajasthan.
Yes, and the larger question is this: the visual, the optics of "Main Hoon Na," I am there, trust me, and I'll take care. What has been done in Gujarat, I will do it in other states, and we'll ensure that all the problems are sorted. Will this assurance fly with the leaders and with the voter? Be it any state where the Prime Minister is going and saying, trust me, I will do it. Now, will that actually work? That's the big question. Huge welcome, big overwhelming response by the people on ground despite a hot summer day, and it's nearing noon. Look at the turnout, number of people who have come there just to get a glimpse of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and to wave to him and to get a wave in response. That's the popularity that Prime Minister Narendra Modi enjoys. The trust and the credibility of this leader, unparalleled among leaders in the recent past, if you could see. And the world over, this constituency or this equity that he's enjoying amongst the people in the country is being recognized. But will this work to ensure that the BJP holds on to Karnataka? Will this help the BJP come back into power in Rajasthan? And is this all setting the tone for what is to be expected in Lok Sabha 2024? Many questions. It's the voter who will give the answers, who will provide the answers, especially for Karnataka. We take a very, very short break on these pictures. Stay with us here at CNN News 18.
ಸರ್ ಈ ಸತಿ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಮಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಣ ಸೀದಾಗಿರುವಂತದ್ದು ಚುನಾವಣಾ ಆಯೋಗ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಮಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಣದ ಒಳೆ ಹರಿದ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾ ಈ ಬಾರಿ
ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಹರಿತದೆ, ಹಣ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ ನಾನು. ಈಗ BJP ಅವರಿಗೆ ಹಣ ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ಏನಿದೆ ಹೇಳೋಕ್ಕೆ? ವೋಟರ್ಸ್ ಹತ್ರಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗೋಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ? ಹೋಗಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ರಾಜ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Except that they're having money. ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಏನು ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಒಂದು ಮನೆ ಕೊಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಇವತ್ತಿನವ್ರಿಗೆ. 7 kg ಅಕ್ಕಿ 4 kg ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯಾವುದೇ ನೀರಾವರಿ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ?
The former chief minister in Varuna, after casting his vote, asking the present media there to ask him questions in Kannada first and not in English. The tall Kuruba leader and the pollsters say that he still holds sway over the Kuruba votes. One of the most popular faces in Karnataka, popular faces of the Congress party. He said this is his last election. He says that almost every election in the recent past, but he's still there in the fray. And he still eyes that chief ministerial post. He still believes that the Congress party cannot look beyond him if the Congress gets the mandate. That is the strength and the sway of Siddaramaiah ji, not just in Varuna, but amongst his core caste votes, that is the Kuruba votes. Do other leaders hold similar sway? Perhaps the only one to parallel or match him is B.S. Yediyurappa with the Lingayats. Even D.K. Shivkumar doesn't hold that kind of sway among the Vokkaligas, but Mr. H.D. Kumaraswamy does. So these caste-based breakups, is that what is going to dominate the discourse in Karnataka? Or are the voters this time going to buck the always trend and rise above their caste leanings and vote for real issues? It's a big question. But more importantly, they should come out and vote. That's one of the first appeals that even Siddaramaiah ji has made, that people should come out and vote. B.S. Arun joining us at this point. Varuna, his bastion, he continues to remain very popular. His son Yatindra is also reaping the benefits of rising in Siddaramaiah's shadows. But is this going to spill over pan Karnataka, B.S. Arun? Does the Congress have the edge and will they get the mandate? Or has the voter decided differently this time?
Well, it's very difficult to say, and only May 13th will prove which way it has gone. But the thing is, both the parties have strived their best, especially the BJP over the last 1 week, thanks to some of the follies made by the Congress. And they seem to have taken the advantage. But whether that advantage, the Prime Minister's very, very successful road shows, will they actually translate it to votes? But that we need to see. The Congress has not lagged behind, and they have raised the issues, especially the people's issues, the ground issues, the issues that bother people, like price rise, like corruption, infrastructure problems in the rural areas. These have been raised by Congress, but how far the voters will get swayed by that, or whether they will go by the narrative made by the BJP relating to polarization issues, that we need to see.
Absolutely, B.S. Arunji. What is... Back on CNN News 18 with news just coming through. Congress leader Priyank Kharge has alleged malpractice at a polling booth in Chamnur. Now taking to Twitter, Priyank Kharge has alleged that polling was stopped at booth number 178 in the Chamnur village as the presiding officer was allegedly prompting people to vote for the BJP. But there has been prompt action taken because based on the complaint, the presiding officer has been changed immediately and the chief electoral officer has promised strict action against the officer as per law. So in one polling booth in the Chamnur village area, the presiding officer, the allegation being booth number 178, the allegation being that the presiding officer was trying to influence the voters. Now that presiding officer, based on the complaint, has been changed immediately. Polling continues in that booth and it's resumed. It was stopped for temporarily, but now it's resumed and the chief electoral officer has promised action against officers as per the law. So these charges and counter charges will continue, but any allegation that has come to the fore has been addressed. Now this malpractice issue has been addressed. Overall, 5.3 crore voters will be casting their ballot, largely peaceful. And Harish Upadhyay getting us the number that around by about 11 a.m. the total voter turnout is 21%. That is very, very encouraging. Should this number swell up and come closer to the 80% mark by end of polling, that is end of day around 6 p.m. today, we'll have to wait and watch. It's the responsibility of Karnataka to go out and vote. 5.3 crore voters, that's a huge base, ladies and gentlemen. So even if about 4 crore voters go out to vote, 1.3 crore voters not casting their ballot could actually influence results across the board. So that's the impact of every single vote. And that's why I agree with Sudha Murthy ji when she says it is mat adhikar, not matdan. Don't donate your vote. It is your right. Exercise it. Priyank Kharge there. Now after casting his ballot with his family, stepping out. But Harish Upadhyay with us. Harish, so steady voting, 21% by 11 a.m. Encouraging. And how many complaints? Are these complaints regular across booths or is this just an aberration? Booth number 178 in Chamnur village.
Well, this seems to be aberration, at least going by the reports coming in from various districts. In this case, you had the Chief Electoral Officer saying that the Election Commission has quickly responded to it. The presiding officer has been removed and the officer will also face the music. He will be in fact punished, or he will undergo a probe to find out if he was actually campaigning in favor of a particular party or a candidate. That's the assurance coming in from the Chief Electoral Office. Apart from this, we've seen stray incidents of EVMs malfunctioning, but that has held up.
I have Mr. Priyank Kharge with us on the phone line. Priyank ji, you have tweeted that there was malpractice in booth number 178 in Chamnur village. The Chief Electoral Officer says that action has been taken. Is that true?
Oh, well, yes. I mean, I myself had to go to the
booth and had to stop the polling because over 50 votes that have been that had already been cast. A few of them were influenced by the
Presiding officer there.
by the presiding officer.
What was going on there? Could you please tell us in detail? What was going
apparently the presiding officer was prompting and influencing the voters to vote for the BJP, especially the elderly people. And this was objected by my polling agent as well as the BJP polling agent, saying that this is not correct. And when confronted, even the other officials agreed, saying that yes, he did go a couple of times when the people were voting right next to them, and was speaking to them in a low tone.
Okay.
So
now, has that presiding officer now been changed? Because that's what is the update.
Yes, the presiding officer has been changed.
And has polling now resumed there?
The point is that, I'm sorry?
Has polling resumed at the booth?
Polling has just resumed now, but this is happening at multiple levels, and we are getting complaints from a lot of booths saying that a lot of presiding officers are working at the behest of are being forced to work at the behest of the government.
Right. The Chief Electoral Officer has said that strict action will be taken against any such complaints that have been brought forth. Priyank Khargeji, thank you for speaking with us. We're going to take a very, very short break on that note. Stay with us here at CNN News 18.
ದೊಡ್ಡ ಮಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಣದ ಒಳೆ ಹರಿಬಿಡ್ತಾ ಈ ಬಾರಿ
ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಹರಿತದೆ, ಹಣ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ ನಾನು. ಈಗ BJP ಅವರಿಗೆ ಹಣ ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ಏನಿದೆ ಹೇಳೋಕ್ಕೆ? ವೋಟರ್ಸ್ ಹತ್ರಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗೋಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ? ಹೋಗಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ರಾಜ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ದಟ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಮನಿ. ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಏನು ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಒಂದು ಮನೆ ಕೊಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಇವತ್ತಿನವ್ರಿಗೆ. 7 kg ಅಕ್ಕಿ 4 kg ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯಾವುದೇ ನೀರಾವರಿ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ?
The former chief minister in Varuna, after casting his vote, asking the present media there to ask him questions in Kannada first and not in English. The tall Kuruba leader and the pollsters say that he still holds sway over the Kuruba votes. One of the most popular faces in Karnataka, popular faces of the Congress party. He said this is his last election. He says that almost every election in the recent past, but he's still there in the fray. And he still eyes that chief ministerial post. He still believes that the Congress party cannot look beyond him if the Congress gets the mandate. That is the strength and the sway of Siddaramaiah ji, not just in Varuna, but amongst his core caste votes, that is the Kuruba votes. Do other leaders hold similar sway? Perhaps the only one to parallel or match him is B.S. Yediyurappa with the Lingayats. Even D.K. Shivkumar doesn't hold that kind of sway among the Vokkaligas, but Mr. H.D. Kumaraswamy does. So these caste-based breakups, is that what is going to dominate the discourse in Karnataka? Or are the voters this time going to buck the always trend and rise above their caste leanings and vote for real issues? It's a big question. But more importantly, they should come out and vote. That's one of the first appeals that even Siddaramaiah ji has made, that people should come out and vote. B.S. Arun joining us at this point. Varuna, his bastion, he continues to remain very popular. His son Yatindra is also reaping the benefits of rising in Siddaramaiah's shadows. But is this going to spill over pan-Karnataka, B.S. Arun? Does the Congress have the edge and will they get the mandate? Or has the voter decided differently this time?
Well, it's very difficult to say, and only May 13th will prove which way it has gone. But the thing is, both the parties have strived their best, especially the BJP over the last 1 week, thanks to some of the follies made by the Congress. And they seem to have taken the advantage, but whether that advantage, the Prime Minister's very, very successful road shows, will they actually translate it to votes? But that we need to see. The Congress has not lagged behind, and they have raised the issues, especially the people's issues, the ground issues, the issues that bother people, like price rise, like corruption, infrastructure problems in the rural areas. These have been raised by Congress, but how far the voters will get swayed by that, or whether they will go by the narrative made by the BJP relating to polarization issues, that we need to see.
Absolutely.
As polling continues in Karnataka, the overall good news is that the polling percentage is roughly around 22% till 11 a.m. So perhaps in the last 1 hour, it would have gone up even more. But we are shifting focus to our neighborhood. CNN News 18 has some exclusive details in which situation remains tense in Pakistan's Lahore and Rawalpindi as an open attack was launched against the Pakistan army by PTI supporters. The Gujranwala cantonment entrance was torched by Imran Khan supporters. The mob also damaged PMLN's model town's office and set PM Shehbaz Sharif's private residence on fire. So the situation certainly being grim now. The army headquarters in Pakistan has advised all officers to remain extremely vigilant. They have been asked to avoid unnecessary movement right now. Army Corps commanders of Pakistan are meeting this evening to review the violent protests and work out a possible strategy. Remember, all this is coming at a time when the Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif is not in Pakistan and neither is the army chief. Abhishek is joining me. So, Abhishek, Shehbaz Sharif's private residence torched, their office torched. The situation certainly is worrying in the sense that what it was last evening.
Of course, Maria, and also Corps Commander's residence in Lahore has been torched. So symbolically, both the establishment of Pakistan, political establishment and military establishment, are in the eyes of protesters, and they are targeting them, their properties, their assets. Meanwhile, what is happening in Pakistan about the whereabouts of Imran Khan or where he is, what we know that he has been probably given a first-hand medical checkup by a team of doctors, and then probably he'll be produced in the magistrate court today, from where NAB is expecting to keep him in remand or in custody for another 4 or 5 days, where he'll be questioned. So far, the reports of any torture or any extra force being applied on Imran Khan for questioning has been denied by government sources or the NAB officials. Interestingly, as you pointed out, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif is in London, and yesterday the news also came that he had extended his stay in UK for another day. That also came in the backdrop of what has happened in Pakistan. So the decision of him making an extra day stay in London could easily be connected to the situation that is happening in Pakistan. Yesterday it was also being talked about that will there be any martial law or any coup, because the Prime Minister is extending his stay in UK. Army chief is not in town, and the second rung army chief or army commanders are calling the shots or running the show in Pakistan. So whatever is happening in Pakistan is very precarious situation. Politically, people are outraged in the manner in which Imran Khan, the former prime minister and most popular leader in Pakistan, undoubtedly right now has been arrested. He was literally dragged and then pushed into a van from where he had been taken to Rawalpindi headquarters. And so far, there has not been any official update about the Imran Khan, his status, his health. And that is also concerning and worrying for the supporters who have already hit the street in protest against the behavior that has been against Imran Khan.
So the question is, we do not know how Imran Khan is, who all are present with Imran Khan. What is the legal recourse then? If he is expected to be in custody for the next 4 to 5 days, Siddhant, what are the legal options before the lawyers of Imran Khan?
Well, Maria, yesterday the court's order came as a shock for the entire Imran Khan and his party. A reason being because they had high hopes from judiciary. In fact, in all the cases, whether it's Tosha Khana case or the other pending investigations being done by National Accountability Bureau or maybe some other federal agency, in all these cases, Imran Khan has managed to get bail or maybe has managed to get protection from the court. So yesterday, even the way arrest was made, the way window panes were broken, the doors of the biometrics block of judicial complex was broken to arrest Imran Khan. He was dragged inside the van. So those were the grounds which were prepared by Imran Khan's legal team, and they were quite confident. In fact, I was listening to one of the lawyers of Imran Khan yesterday evening, and he was confident, and he said that we are trying our best to get relief for Imran Khan tonight. But what happened yesterday was unprecedented. Court called the arrest legal, and then the plan was worked out to produce him in court today. Now the legal team has told us that they are going to move Supreme Court of Pakistan. Now and this is perhaps the reason that the campaign is also being run for Imran Khan, not just in Pakistan but globally. In Toronto, in UK, in US, everywhere this Pakistani diaspora is uniting and running a campaign so that there could be a pressure which could be put on the courts in Pakistan, maybe Supreme Court in Pakistan, so that Imran Khan can be released or he can get some sort of a protection from arrest. So all that is being done, and this is the same script which Imran Khan applied at the time of the efforts to arrest him from his Zaman Park residence. The same script is being followed by his cadre right now. The calls are being given to reach Islamabad. Islamabad chalo, Jamhuriyat ghar se niklo, ghar se nikalne ka waqt hai, loktantra ko bachana hai, Imran ko free karana hai. Such kind of slogans are also being given. So a massive campaign is being run by PTI supporters, and in fact it is also going well with the Aam Janta, Aam Jamhuriyat of Pakistan. Reason being because the anger against the army and the dispensation was already brewing, and given the inflation, the price rise, and the cash strapped economy, unemployment, so people are already in stress, and this is perhaps the right time to show that anger against army and the government, and this is the reason that they're coming on the streets. They have come out in support of Imran Khan. They are not sleeping. They are traveling 200-300 kilometers to reach Islamabad, maybe to protest. They are attacking government buildings. They are vandalizing the army headquarters. Some of the most sensitive areas of Pakistan are under attack. So all this is being done so that pressure could be built on the courts in Pakistan. And since there is a perception that the courts have always sided with Imran Khan, courts in Pakistan, courts enjoy a lot of respect, because each time around the courts have sided with Imran Khan in terms of giving him bail or protection. This time around also his cadre feels that the Supreme Court will order in favor of Imran Khan, and that could perhaps lay a roadmap for his release, or he can enjoy a protection and can fight against army and the government. Also, what makes Imran Khan again a popular leader is that other former prime ministers immediately leave the country or maybe go to Jeddah, Dubai or London.
Yes.
But Imran Khan decided to stay in Pakistan and to fight for the people, and that perhaps makes him.
That's a fair assessment, that Imran Khan chose to not leave Pakistan when it got really, when the situation started going south for him. He continued to fight and change the narrative, in which he positioned himself as a leader who was taking on the army of Pakistan. The army of Pakistan, which is increasingly being seen as corrupt. He's taking on the dynasts like the Bhuttos and also the Sharifs. So who really is in charge of Pakistan right now, Abhishek? The Prime Minister is not there. The army chief is missing. So who's third in charge there in their absence?
The question will remain mysterious, but apparently Janata Dal, who happens to be the Home Minister of Pakistan, would be certainly calling the shots in terms of political dispensation, and maybe some second rank general of army would be taking charge of the other part of the Pakistan's political or dispensation. But right now, the two chiefs of Pakistan are away. The situation in Pakistan is precarious. The most fearsome leader of opposition, Imran Khan, has been arrested in a way that has not gone down well, not in Pakistan, but outside also. People have started commenting on it. And we already have observations coming from USA where they have said that they are sort of monitoring the situation, what is happening in Pakistan, and they look forward to having a democratic and peaceful resolution of the current crisis that is happening in Pakistan. What is happening currently, the outrage or the anger that you are seeing currently on the streets in Pakistan, Siddhant was right, has been in making for a very long time. People are frustrated with the higher inflationary pressure, the cost of living, food prices. In fact, the scarcity of food, drugs, medicine, dollars have gone. I mean, there is scarcity of dollars in Pakistan. Forest reserves is depleting. In that scenario, if everything was already a perfect recipe for a state going down, this political turmoil has been created by the establishment, which has given people the much awaited, the space where they are now venting out their frustration of the last months or last couple of years. Since then, their day-to-day life has become really difficult. So Imran Khan has become a symbolical figure where people are, marching behind him in a hope, in a dream that probably Imran Khan was the only pacifier of this situation, or he was the only Messiah who could have come with some sort of solution, and now he's been also arrested.
That actually is about that larger than life acceptability and image of Imran Khan. Abhishek and Siddhant, stay with us. We have Achal Malhotra, former diplomat, joining us, and also Hamid Khan. He's a senior journalist from Pakistan. Hamid Khan, this is unprecedented what is happening, but what is the way out for Pakistan government? And my question that I've been trying to find an answer to, who really is in charge of Pakistan right now?
Yeah, very important questions both. For way forward, I will say that sense must prevail, and the government should take some sensible decisions rather than trying to bulldoze everything with force or with power. It's not going to work. Public will react more. So I believe that the way they have arrested Imran Khan was not acceptable for the public, and it has many questions already raised. So matter will go in court, and let's see what happens in Supreme Court. But I think government has to stop further confrontation, and government have to come to a resolution. And it's always, from the government end where they have to work on reconciliation rather than making the things worse for the country. Secondly, yes, I mean, the two most important, persons of Pakistan running the country are out of the country. But, because nowadays everything is so much controlled over, remotely as well, that, I mean, we can't say that they can't, manage or they can't run the other affairs. But obviously on ground, definitely, I mean, as one of your colleagues was saying, Rana Sanaullah, as being interior minister, who must be looking after. And in army, I mean, there is no need of army chief all the time there. It is a system which works. So about the defense forces and other, defense institutions, the chief's presence is not that much considerable, because it's a system which runs the whole, security system. So I believe that in current situation, it is very important for the government to calm the public, to make it sure that the legal process is taken care, and there should not be any more confrontation. If there is any violence, it can get worse. That is the only point. When Pakistan is already going through economical challenges, Pakistan cannot afford any further, turmoil in terms of political turmoil, which we have seen yesterday. Things have gone very worse. So I think that is very much responsibility of Shahbaz Sharif government, because, I mean, there is an election announced already in October. So if they will try to, manipulate election dates or anything, there will be a very huge public reaction.
So if Shahbaz Sharif, did he miscalculate, Achal Malhotra, and who really took this call for an arrest of a former prime minister by the Pakistani Rangers by dragging him out of the court when he was in the court premises? So what clearly appears to be illegal arrest?
Yes, Maria, the arrest of any former leader in Pakistan is not unusual. But of course, the manner in which Imran Khan was dragged out of the court, the Pakistani Rangers broke the windows and went in to get hold of him, that's something unprecedented, and I don't recall something like that having happened. But starting from, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto and many other leaders, they have been arrested, persecuted, exiled, killed also. So from that point of view, I don't see anything unusual. Imran Khan was a blue-eyed boy of the establishment. That's how he got to where he got.
How did the blue-eyed boy become an eyesore of such an extent?
Yeah, we know, because he fell with the former army chief. It's a known secret. I mean, it's not a secret at all. His decline and his downfall started the day he fell with General Bajwa when he was in power. And from that day onwards, it coincided with the emergence of this 9-party, alliance, opposition all coming together. And then the creation, the situation was created when he had to quit and leave. But he has been very outspoken, and he has been calling names. He's been, trying to accuse the army, the most powerful body in Pakistan, the intelligence, ISI. So I think there was a point beyond which the establishment is not willing to, take this kind of behavior from Imran Khan. And on the previous occasions, whenever efforts were made to arrest him, his party cadres and supporters managed to create a situation where, they could not actually go and arrest. And probably that also explains why they decided to, get him the way they got him. But that's what has already happened. The courts will decide whether it was legal or illegal. Supreme Court's verdict will be very important to give an indicator which way the situation may go. But the fact of the matter is that you said the Pakistani Prime Minister is out of country, Chief is out of the country, and they are not showing any urgency to get back. Probably the message they are conveying is that there's nothing serious, so serious for them to cut short their visits and get back home. The seconds in command will be able to manage it. That's the one message they are giving.
No, but Ajahn Malhotra, that's an unfair analysis. I mean, that's an incorrect picture to even give to oneself. Shehbaz Sharif's own house has been torched.
Yeah, correct or incorrect, Bharat, that's a different thing. The point is, when you are out, if you want to get back home, cut short your visits, then the message goes that something is terribly wrong. The Americans, the Westerns have already started giving advisories to their citizens to be careful about not to visit this country, etc., etc. See, from here onwards, the point is, if the second in commands in the Imran Khan's party, the other leaders are also put under arrest on one pretext or the other, and then who's going to lead and how long will they be able to sustain this kind of campaign? And Imran Khan, no doubt, was very popular as a cricketer. He was popular even at the time he became the Prime Minister, but I don't think he remained so popular because he also did not deliver. And the kind of economic crisis the country is facing now, he can't, he also has to partially take the blame for that. So, and I don't think his support is pan-Pakistan. He enjoys equal support all over the country. And then army is strong. Establishment is very strong. Now, the question is, will this lead to martial law? Will this become a civil war-like situation? Will army establish its rules? My gut feeling says no, for two reasons. One, this will not be, taken very well in the West, particularly, and there might be sanctions. Army may not like to. The army may probably play the same game which they have been playing for some time. That for public consumption and for international consumption, there will be a civilian government which would be controlled by the army and the establishment.
Okay.
And this is what they would like to repeat. Secondly, the country is going through a very severe economic crisis, which army may or may not be able to handle. So why they will take upon themselves the responsibility of, taking over a country in that which is in shambles? So, and for these two reasons, I think there may not be a martial law, there may not be an army rule coming back to Pakistan.
Then who really ordered this kind of arrest of Imran Khan, Hamid Khan?
Obviously, I mean, procedurally,
Is this a case of an over-enthusiastic, NAB chief?
Yeah, I think it is NAB, I think find it an opportunity to arrest him at this time. But I believe it is a miscalculation, and I hope it would not fire back very worse. I mean, they would be able to control it. But obviously, there is a backing of current government and establishment on his arrest as well. There is no doubt about it that NAB in Pakistan, I won't think that NAB will take all the decision on its own. There must be some kind of support or backing to NAB as well by the government, Shahbaz Sharif. One more thing I would like to say that, if you look at the situation, as you're talking about the probability of any kind of intervention of martial law or dictatorship, I think it's not possible because there is one very important reason, and that in past when there was martial laws, there was the differences between the sitting government and the establishment. At this time of moment, the sitting government and the establishment are on the same page. It is the reaction from the currently opposition, from former Prime Minister Imran Khan. So I don't think so. There is any solid reason for the for army to intervene in current situation. Undoubtedly, economic crises are there, and there will be very high risk of any kind of adventure of dictatorship or martial law. I would say it is not possible in current situation.
Yes.
But the big reason is
my question is that if Imran Khan is in custody, what about the rest of the PTI? Where is the rest of the party, and who is really leading these protests in Imran Khan's absence?
Imran Khan made a 7 members core committee in case of his arrest. He announced their names and he told them they will manage the party affairs rather than having one figure as the head of the party, because nominating one person as the head of the party could have caused some kind of rebellion within the party. So he has announced a 7-member party core committee who's supposed to take the affairs. But at the moment, you're absolutely right. Their senior leadership is not been seen on any protest or anywhere. I think they don't want to be called or blamed for any kind of violence or vandalizing or that kind of protest. So they are still saying that PTI believe in peaceful protest. So that's why they're not on the scene. But at the same time, there is a very massive crackdown going on the leadership of PTI, such as ex-governor Umar Sarfraz Cheema has been arrested from his home earlier this morning, and some other leadership have been arrested from different cities. So, there are 2 reasons why we can't see the top leadership. One, they have a fear of arrest. Secondly, they don't want to be called under anti-terrorism charges if there is any further, I would say,
if it gets worse. So then how long will these protests continue, Abhishek? If we are hearing about the second rung of PTI leaders being arrested today?
So this is the protest is partly spontaneous and partly instigated by the PTI leadership also. But now, since the second rung of PTI is also under attack or under arrest from the establishment, we'll have to see how much of the real anger of people were there when they hit the street. It's a total chaotic situation in Pakistan. So if in fact the headless crowd is more dangerous than a crowd which is being led by a particular person, because at least that person has a direction, a vision where the crowd should be led. But this crowd, which will be leaderless and they will still be angered and frustrated, that will be more a challenge for the state to manage, and the law and order situation will become even more dangerous in Pakistan. So from here onwards, at least next couple of days are still going to be very worrisome for the people of Pakistan, for the law and order situation in Pakistan, and the overall political drama that is unfolding in Pakistan, and how the state is going to manage that will remain a challenge. Because if the senior leaders of Pakistan, of PTI, are also being arrested, now Imran, we'll have to see what sort of respite or what sort of commentary Supreme Court of Pakistan will do in the case of Imran Khan, because PTI is challenging the way Imran Khan has been arrested and the cases in which Imran Khan has been arrested, and they are expecting some sort of hope from the Supreme Court. So next couple of days is going to be very crucial for Imran Khan, for PTI, and for overall socio-political economic situation in Pakistan.
Okay, let's listen in to what Imran Khan had said soon after his arrest.
This is unacceptable. This should be unacceptable to the courts as well. We demand from the judiciary to intervene and take action against those who arrested him. People of Pakistan have rejected this illegal arrest. It is not acceptable to them. Is there rule of jungle in this country? We must raise our voice. We must stand with the fundamental human rights of the people, and judiciary must intervene. It is also contempt of the court. When they arrested him, there was no case against him. And he was appearing for his bail before the judge, and exactly before that, they arrested him.
आलम इस्लाम के लीडर को गिरफ्तार किया गया और उन पर तशद्दुद करने की इतलात आ रही है दौरान गिरफ्तारी। ये किसी सूरत काबिल कबूल नहीं है। इमरान खान हमारी रेड लाइन है। इमरान खान इस मुल्क का, पूरे आलम इस्लाम का निडर वाहिद ईमानदार लीडर है और उसने कोई गुनाह नहीं किया। उसने कोई लाखों करोड़ों अरबों रुपए लोगों के नहीं लूटे। वो कोई दौड़ के नहीं गया, किसी दूसरे मुल्क में जाके बैठ गया। मैं पूरी कौम से, सब कारकुनों से और सब अवाम से, सिर्फ कारकुन नहीं अवाम से ये डिमांड करता हूं कि आज बाहर निकलें। अगर आज हम बाहर ना निकले, ये मुल्क हमेशा के लिए इन चोरों डाकुओं के हवाले कर दिया जाए।
अजीम पाकिस्तानियों, आज आपको अपने घरों से निकलना होगा अपने अजीम कायद इमरान खान के लिए, जो आपके मुस्तकबिल की लड़ाई लड़ रहा है। आज घर कोई ना बैठे। आज अगर आप पाकिस्तान को हकीकी आज़ादी की तरफ माइल करना चाहते हैं और एक नए पाकिस्तान की दाग बेल डालना चाहते हैं, तो निकलिए अपने बच्चों के साथ, अपनी फैमिलीज के साथ, अपने साथियों के साथ और इजहार यकजहती कीजिए इमरान खान के साथ।
इनकी अकल जवाब दे गई है। ये गुंडागर्दी है, फस्तायत है, बदमाशी है और इससे इमरान खान हीरो बनेगा, ये जीरो बनेंगे। वो मुकद्दर का सिकंदर बनेगा। डर सिर्फ इस बात का है कि ये जेल में उसको स्लो पॉइजनिंग ना करें, क्योंकि इमरान खान का ये मुकाबला करने से आरी हैं। इमरान खान ने इन चोरों और लुटेरों को, जिन पर मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग के केस थे, अपने केस खत्म किए।
Achal Malhotra, you know, the soundbite of Shah Mahmood Qureshi and others would be seen as open incitement.
Maria?
Yes. Diplomat Malhotra, yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, can you repeat your question, please?
Yes, the soundbites that we just played of Shah Mahmood Qureshi and others will be seen as provoking crowd for uniting against the present regime.
Yes, indeed. Maria, if you must have, I'm sure you must have heard the statement, the recorded statement of Imran Khan also, which he had, I think, pre-recorded in anticipation of being arrested, and which was played and circulated very, widely. Even in that statement towards the end, he had made a call upon, he had called upon the people of Pakistan to come on the streets. And, he said this was the end of, the death of the democracy, and democracy is being buried. And can you hear me?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Okay. So, he had made all those observations, and then he had said it's time for the people to come out, protect the democracy, protect their freedom. So that call, I think all these PTI leaders are echoing what he had said. And this is the point, at this point of time, how the those who are in charge of, who are governing the country, how will they respond? Establishment, the civilian government, will they go for the path of confrontation? Will they make sure that Imran Khan remains entangled in the legal processes leading to his disqualification from contesting the elections, and thus trying to put an end to his political career that way, that he himself will not be able to depart from playing any active role? Or there would be some sense and there would be some meeting ground, or will there be will they be able to talk it out with Imran Khan while he's under custody and find out a way out via media where the two sides, after all, what happened? This 9-party alliance, when it was being formed, the first calls, the open calls they were making was they were talking against the army and establishment. They were openly saying that one of their agenda would be to dilute the role of the army in the governance of the country. But what happened? Over a period of time, they sat together, negotiated. All their pending cases have, I think, been, already decided in their favor or withdrawn, and eventually they were allowed to come to power. So this is whether the give and take will now start taking place, or will it lead to a further larger confrontation, a civil war-like situation? How the army will react? A lot of things, there are a lot of political probabilities.
It's a developing story, as we have been saying. Hamza Azhar is also joining us live from Lahore. He is editor of the Pakistan Daily. Hamza, as someone who is on ground in Lahore, what are you seeing around? Has the situation improved in any way in the last 12 hours?
Well, there were unprecedented scenes last night when protesters stormed the Corps Commander House in Lahore, as well as other military installations. They were in Lahore, Kent. And yes, the protests have subsided in the last 12 hours, but PTI is asking for legal representation for Imran Khan, and they're claiming that he is not being given access to his lawyers. So it is possible that the protests continue and they start with even more hype today.
So you are saying that Imran Khan has not been given access to lawyers is what the PTI is claiming?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so what is the legal option before Imran Khan? What are the legal options before him?
Well, he's been arrested in a corruption case. He's been accused of taking a bribe from Malik Riaz, who's one of Pakistan's leading businessmen and also the chairman of Bahria Town. So it's a case, it's a clear and cut case, and he has a big legal team. But unfortunately, right now, he's being kept in custody without access to his legal team. And this is what his party is calling for, because the situation is very precarious. It's very sensitive. PTI workers are very agitated. And last night we saw huge scenes, as you're showing on the screens. We saw a lot of violence against security personnel, against the armed forces, and all across the country. It wasn't just in Lahore or in Punjab, but all across the country we saw PTI workers storm into military installations in the relative cantonments of their cities. And unless Imran Khan is presented before a court and gets access to lawyers, I see the situation getting worsened.
Hamid Khan, a quick word from you. When we look at this situation, I don't think so Hamid Khan is still with us. So I'll end this discussion. Alchal Malhotra, Hamid Khan, Siddhant, Hamza and Abhishek, thank you so much. We are slipping into a short break. After that, we'll get a piece of breaking news that is coming in on the Kerala story.
This is Karnataka. The official language is Kannada. You are all asking questions in English. ಮನವಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮತದಾರರು ತಮ್ಮ ಮತ ಚಲಾಯಿಸಬೇಕು. ಮತ್ತೆ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಭವಿಷ್ಯ ಗಮನದಲ್ಲಿಟ್ಟುಕೊಂಡು ಚಲಾಯಿಸಬೇಕು. ಯಾರು ಪ್ರಜಾಪ್ರಭುತ್ವ ಉಳಿಸ್ತಾರೆ, ಯಾರು ಸಂವಿಧಾನ ಉಳಿಸ್ತಾರೆ, ಯಾರು ರಾಜ್ಯ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ವೋಟ್ ಹಾಕಬೇಕು ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ನನ್ನ ಮನವಿ.
ದೊಡ್ಡ ಮಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಣ ಸೀದಾಗಿರುವಂತದ್ದು ಚುನಾವಣಾ ಆಯೋಗ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಮಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಣದ ಒಳೆ ಹರಿಬಿಡ್ತಾ ಈ ಬಾರಿ
ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಹರಿತದೆ, ಹಣ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ ನಾನು. ಈಗ ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಹಣ ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ಏನಿದೆ ಹೇಳಕ್ಕೆ? ವೋಟರ್ಸ್ ಹತ್ರಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗೋಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ? ಹೋಗಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ರಾಜ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ದಟ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಮನಿ. ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಏನು ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಒಂದು ಮನೆ ಕೊಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಇವತ್ತಿನವ್ರಿಗೆ. 7 kg ಅಕ್ಕಿ 4 kg ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯಾವುದೇ ನೀರಾವರಿ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ.
The former chief minister in Varuna, after casting his vote, asking the present media there to ask him questions in Kannada first and not in English. The tall Kuruba leader and the pollsters say that he still holds sway over the Kuruba votes. One of the most popular faces in Karnataka, popular faces of the Congress party. He said this is his last election. He says that almost every election in the recent past, but he's still there in the fray. And he still eyes that chief ministerial post. He still believes that the Congress party cannot look beyond him if the Congress gets the mandate. That is the strength and the sway of Siddaramaiah ji, not just in Varuna, but amongst his core caste votes, that is the Kuruba votes. Do other leaders hold similar sway? Perhaps the only one to parallel or match him is B.S. Yediyurappa with the Lingayats. Even D.K. Shivkumar doesn't hold that kind of sway among the Vokkaligas, but Mr. H.D. Kumaraswamy does. So these caste-based breakups, is that what is going to dominate the discourse in Karnataka, or are the voters this time going to buck the always trend and rise above their caste leanings and vote for real issues? It's a big question. But more importantly, they should come out and vote. That's one of the first appeals that even Siddaramaiah ji has made, that people should come out and vote. B.S. Arun joining us at this point. Varuna, his bastion, he continues to remain very popular. His son Yatindra is also reaping the benefits of rising in Siddaramaiah's shadows. But is this going to spill over pan-Karnataka, B.S. Arun? Does the Congress have the edge and will they get the mandate? Or has the voter decided differently this time?
Well, it's very difficult to say, and only May 13th will prove which way it has gone. But the thing is, both the parties have strived their best, especially the BJP over the last 1 week, thanks to some of the follies made by the Congress. And they seem to have taken the advantage, but whether that advantage, the Prime Minister's very, very successful road shows, will they actually translate it to votes? But that we need to see. The Congress has not lagged behind, and they have raised the issues, especially the people's issues, the ground issues, the issues that bother people, like price rise, like corruption, infrastructure problems in the rural areas. These have been raised by Congress, but how far the voters will get swayed by that, or whether they will go by the narrative made by the BJP relating to polarization issues, that we need to see.
Absolutely, B.S. Arunji. What issues dominate, and where does the voter actually lean towards? Has Basavaraj Bommai in his limited time period been able to do enough all across Karnataka to buck the 40% corruption charge? And all
First reaction coming in now from the Kerala Catholic Church on the controversial film The Kerala Story. The spokesperson of Kerala Catholic Bishops' Conference says that the film is a work of art and the movie exposes the atrocities committed by the ISIS. It cannot be evaluated on the lines of communalism. Let's listen in. Pradeep Pillai is joining me live. Pradeep, who exactly has given this soundbite? And the fact is that this entire idea of love jihad was first mentioned by the Kerala Catholic Church.
Well, this reaction, the first from the Kerala Catholic Church, the reaction has come from Father Jacob. Father Jacob is the spokesperson for the Kerala Catholic Bishops' Council, which is the council of the Catholic bishops in Kerala. And in his reaction, he has very clearly said that it's a work of art. Why this huge hue and cry by both the left front and the Congress-led United Democratic Front? He also says that some movies are based on facts and reality, and it also exposes the atrocities committed by the IS, and it cannot be so evaluated on the basis of communalism. And then he has said that there have been instances of women being recruited to the IS, trapping them in the web of love. And he says that this movie displays that, and it upsets many. Nobody brands the IS as a version of Muslims or Islam. And he also goes on to say that the movie does not denigrate anyone. It is the story of Kerala because such recruitments have happened here. And love jihad is a reality many cannot stomach. Forced conversion of faith after love marriage is unacceptable, as what Father Jacob pointed out. He also goes out very strongly against the politicians, especially in Kerala, saying that the Kerala politicians feel that minority means it is only a certain group. He says the opposition against Kerala is for supporting a bigger section of the minority, and they think this big group of minorities will support them in the coming election.
Just hold on to your thoughts. In fact, the sound bite is now ready. Let's play it for our viewers.
Kerala story contains some incident that happened by the ISS group, that militant group. They have recruited some people from Kerala. That's a fact. I don't know why these political leaders, political parties, irrespective of left and right, came up against this feature film. I think they have some vested interest. Well, really, it is for vote bank system. When somebody says about love jihad, then every eyes and ears looking to the Christian community. That's not the way to look at it. We are against this kind of love which forces the other person to convert from his or her religion to the other person's religion and do according to his or her whims and fancies. That's why we are against this particular form of love.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi is speaking in Rajasthan. Let's listen in.
राजस्थान भाजपा के अध्यक्ष श्री चंद्र प्रकाश जोशी जी, संसद में सारे साथी बहन दिया कुमार जी, संसद के मेरे साथी श्रीमान कनकमल कटारा जी, सांसद श्री अर्जुन लाल मीना जी, कार्यक्रम में उपस्थित अन्य सभी महानुभाव और राजस्थान के मेरे प्यारे भाइयों और बहनों, भगवान श्रीनाथ जी और मेवाड़ की इस वीर धरा पर मुझे फिर एक बार आपके बीच आने का अवसर मिला है। यहां आने से पहले मुझे भगवान श्रीनाथ जी के दर्शन का सौभाग्य मिला। मैंने श्रीनाथ जी से आजादी के इस अमृत काल में विकसित भारत के संकल्पों की सिद्धि के लिए आशीर्वाद मांगा है। साथियों, आज यहां राजस्थान के विकास से जुड़े 5,000 करोड़ रुपए से अधिक के प्रोजेक्ट का शिलान्यास और लोकार्पण हुआ है। ये प्रोजेक्ट्स राजस्थान की कनेक्टिविटी को नई ऊंचाई पर ले जाएंगे। उदयपुर और शामळाजी के बीच नेशनल हाईवे 8 के 6 लेन होने से उदयपुर, डूंगरपुर और बांसवाड़ा क्षेत्रों को बहुत फायदा होगा। इससे शामळाजी और काया के बीच की दूरी कम हो जाएगी। बिलाड़ा और जोधपुर सेक्शन के निर्माण से जोधपुर और बॉर्डर एरिया तक पहुंच बहुत ही सुलभ होगी। इसका एक बड़ा फायदा ये भी होगा कि जयपुर से जोधपुर की दूरी भी 3 घंटे कम हो जाएगी। 4 भुजा और निचली ओड़न के प्रोजेक्ट से वर्ल्ड हेरिटेज साइट कुंभलगढ़, हल्दी घाटी और सुनाथ जी के दर्शन करना बहुत ही आसान हो जाएगा। श्री नाथद्वारा से देवगढ़ मदारिया की रेलवे लाइन मेवाड़ से मारवाड़ को जोड़ेगी। इससे मार्बल, ग्रेनाइट और माइनिंग इंडस्ट्री को और व्यापारियों को बहुत मदद मिलेगी। मैं सभी राजस्थान वासियों को इन विकास कार्यों के लिए बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं। भाइयों और बहनों, भारत सरकार राज्य के विकास से देश के विकास के मंत्र पर विश्वास करती है। राजस्थान देश के सबसे बड़े राज्यों में से एक है। राजस्थान भारत के शौर्य, भारत की धरोहर, भारत की संस्कृति का वाहक है। राजस्थान जितना विकसित होगा उतना ही भारत के विकास को भी गति मिलेगी। और इसलिए हमारी सरकार राजस्थान में आधुनिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पर सबसे अधिक बल दे रही है। और जब मैं आधुनिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की बात करता हूं तो इसका मतलब सिर्फ रेल और रोड ही नहीं होता। आधुनिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर शहरों और गांवों में कनेक्टिविटी बढ़ाता है, दूरी कम करता है। आधुनिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर समाज में सुविधाएं बढ़ाता है, समाज को जोड़ता है। आधुनिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डिजिटल सुविधाओं को बढ़ाता है, लोगों का जीवन आसान बनाता है। आधुनिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर विरासत को बढ़ावा देने के साथ ही विकास को भी गति देता है। जब हम आने वाले 25 साल में विकसित भारत के संकल्प की बात करते हैं तो उसके मूल में यही इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर एक नई ताकत बनकर के उभर रहा है। आज देश में हर तरह के इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पर अभूतपूर्व निवेश हो रहा है, अभूतपूर्व गति से काम चल रहा है। रेलवे हो, हाईवे हो, एयरपोर्ट हो, हर क्षेत्र में भारत सरकार हजारों करोड़ रुपए निवेश कर रही है। इस साल के बजट में भी भारत सरकार ने इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पर 10 लाख करोड़ रुपए खर्च करना तय किया है। साथियों, जब इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पर इतना निवेश होता है तो इसका सीधा प्रभाव उस क्षेत्र के विकास पर होता है, उस क्षेत्र में रोजगार के अवसरों पर होता है। जब नई सड़कें बनती हैं, नई रेल लाइनें बनती हैं, जब गांव में पीएम आवास योजना के करोड़ों घर बनते हैं, करोड़ों शौचालय बनते हैं, जब गांव में लाखों किलोमीटर ऑप्टिकल फाइबर बिछता है, हर घर जल इसके लिए पाइप बिछाया जाता है, तो इसका लाभ जो स्थानीय छोटे मोटे व्यापारी होते हैं, जो इस प्रकार की चीजों को सप्लाई करते हैं, उन छोटे मोटे दुकानदारों को भी, उस इलाके के श्रमिकों को भी इसके कारण बहुत लाभ मिलता है। भारत सरकार की इन योजनाओं ने अर्थव्यवस्था को एक नई गति दी है। लेकिन साथियों, हमारे देश में कुछ लोग ऐसी विकृत विचारधारा के शिकार हो चुके हैं इतनी नकारात्मकता से भरे हुए हैं, देश में कुछ भी अच्छा होता हुआ वो देखना ही नहीं चाहते और उन्हें सिर्फ विवाद खड़ा करना ही अच्छा लगता है। अब आपने कुछ सुना होगा, जैसे कुछ लोग उपदेश देते हैं कि आटा पहले कि डाटा पहले, सड़क पहले कि सैटेलाइट पहले। लेकिन इतिहास गवाह है कि स्थायी विकास के लिए, तेज विकास के लिए मूल व्यवस्थाओं के साथ ही आधुनिक इंफ्रा बनाना भी जरूरी होता है। जो लोग कदम कदम पर हर चीज वोट के तराजू से तोलते हैं, वो कभी देश के भविष्य को ध्यान में रखकर योजना नहीं बना पाते। हम कई बार देखते हैं गांव में पानी की टंकी बनी, लेकिन वो 4-5 साल में ही छोटी पड़ जाती है। कितनी सड़कें या फ्लाईओवर ऐसे होते हैं जो 4-5 साल में अपर्याप्त लगने लगते हैं। हमारे देश में इसी सोच की वजह से इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के निर्माण को प्राथमिकता नहीं दी गई। इसका बहुत नुकसान देश ने उठाया है। अगर पहले ही मान लीजिए पर्याप्त संख्या में मेडिकल कॉलेज बन गए होते तो पहले देश में डॉक्टरों की इतनी कमी नहीं होती। अगर पहले ही रेलवे लाइनों का बिजलीकरण हो गया होता तो आज हजारों करोड़ रुपए खर्च करके ये काम करने की जरूरत नहीं रहती। अगर पहले ही हर घर तक नल से जल आने लगता तो आज 3.5 लाख करोड़ रुपए लगाकर जल जीवन मिशन नहीं शुरू करना पड़ता। नकारात्मकता से भरे हुए लोगों में ना दूरदृष्टि होती है और ना ही वो राजनीतिक स्वार्थ से ऊपर उठकर कुछ सोच पाते हैं। आप सोचिए, अगर नाथ द्वारा की जीवन रेखा कहे जाने वाले नंद समंद बांध या टांटोल बांध नहीं बने होते तो क्या होता? और हम तो राजस्थान और गुजरात के लोगों के जुबान पे लाखा बंजारा का नाम बार बार आता है। हम लाखा बंजारा की चर्चा करते हैं। पानी के लिए लाखा बंजारा ने अपना जीवन खपा दिया था। हालत यह है कि अगर पानी के लिए इतना काम करने वाले और जिनकी चारों पर वावड़ी किसने बनाई तो बोले लाखा बंजारा, वहां तालाब किसने बनाया तो बोले लाखा बंजारा। ये गुजरात में भी बोला जाता है, राजस्थान में बोला जाता है। मतलब हर एक को लगता है भाई पानी की समस्या का समाधान कोई करता था तो लाखा बंजारा करता था। लेकिन आज हालत यही है कि यही लाखा बंजारा चुनाव में खड़ा हो जाए तो ये नकारात्मक सोच वाले उसको भी हराने के लिए मैदान में आएंगे। उसके लिए भी पॉलिटिकल पार्टियों का जमघट इकट्ठा करेंगे। साथियों, दूरदृष्टि के साथ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर नहीं बनाने का नुकसान राजस्थान ने भी बहुत उठाया है। इस मरुभूमि में कनेक्टिविटी के अभाव में आना जाना कितना मुश्किल होता था ये आप भली भांति जानते हैं। और ये मुश्किल सिर्फ आने जाने तक सीमित नहीं थी, बल्कि इससे खेती, किसानी, व्यापार, कारोबार सब कुछ मुश्किल था। आप देखिए, प्रधानमंत्री ग्रामीण सड़क योजना साल 2000 में अटल जी की सरकार ने शुरू की थी। इसके बाद 2014 तक लगभग 3,80,000 किलोमीटर ग्रामीण सड़कें बनाई गई। बावजूद उसके देश के लाखों गांव ऐसे थे जहां सड़क संपर्क से कटे हुए थे। 2014 में हमने संकल्प लिया कि हर गांव तक पक्की सड़कें पहुंचाकर रहेंगे। पिछले 9 वर्ष में ही हमने लगभग 3.5 लाख किलोमीटर 9 वर्ष में 3.5 लाख किलोमीटर नई सड़कें गांवों में बनाई। इनमें से 70,000 किलोमीटर से अधिक सड़कें यहां अपने इस राजस्थान के गांवों में बनी है। अब देश के ज्यादातर गांव पक्की सड़कों से जड़ चुके हैं। आप कल्पना करिए, अगर यही काम पहले हो गया होता तो गांव कस्बों में रहने वाले हमारे भाइयों बहनों को कितनी आसानी हो गई होती। साथियों, भारत सरकार आज गांवों तक सड़क पहुंचाने के साथ ही शहरों को भी आधुनिक हाईवे से जोड़ने में जुटी है। 2014 से पहले देश में जिस गति से नेशनल हाईवे का निर्माण हो रहा था, अब उससे 2 गुनी तेजी से, डबल स्पीड से काम किया जा रहा है। इसका भी लाभ राजस्थान के अनेक जिलों को मिला है। कुछ समय पहले ही मैंने दौसा में दिल्ली मुंबई एक्सप्रेस वे, उसके एक प्रमुख सेक्शन का लोकार्पण किया है। भाइयों और बहनों, आज भारत का समाज आकांक्षी समाज है, एस्पिरेशनल सोसाइटी है। आज 21वीं सदी के इस दशक में लोग कम समय में ज्यादा से ज्यादा दूर तक पहुंचना चाहते हैं, ज्यादा से ज्यादा सुविधाएं चाहते हैं। सरकार में होने के नाते ये हम सभी का दायित्व है कि भारत के लोगों की इस आकांक्षा को, राजस्थान के लोगों की इस आकांक्षा को हम सब मिलकर के पूरा करें। हम सब जानते हैं कि सड़क के साथ ही कहीं जल्दी आने जाने के लिए रेलवे कितनी जरूरी होती है। आज भी गरीब या मध्यम वर्ग को सपरिवार कहीं जाना है तो उसकी पहली पसंद रेल ही होती है। इसलिए आज भारत सरकार अपने दशकों पुराने रेल नेटवर्क को सुधार रही है, आधुनिक बना रही है। आधुनिक ट्रेनें हो, आधुनिक रेलवे स्टेशन हो, आधुनिक रेलवे ट्रैक्स हो, हम हर स्तर पर एक साथ चारों दिशाओं में काम कर रहे हैं। आज राजस्थान को भी उसकी पहली वंदे भारत एक्सप्रेस मिल चुकी है। यहां मावली मारवाड़ गेज परिवर्तन की मांग भी तो कब से चल रही थी, ये पूरी हो रही है। इसी तरह अहमदाबाद उदयपुर के बीच पूरे रूट को ब्रॉडगेज में बदलने का काम भी कुछ महीने पहले पूरा हुआ है। इस नए रूट पर जो ट्रेन चल रही है उसका बहुत लाभ उदयपुर और आसपास के लोगों को हो रहा है। साथियों, पूरे रेल नेटवर्क को मानव रहित फाटकों से मुक्त करने के बाद हम अब तेजी से पूरे नेटवर्क का बिजलीकरण कर रहे हैं। हम उदयपुर रेलवे स्टेशन की तरह ही देश के सैकड़ों रेलवे स्टेशनों को आधुनिक बना रहे हैं, उनकी कैपेसिटी बढ़ा रहे हैं और इन सबके साथ ही हम मालगाड़ियों के लिए स्पेशल ट्रैक, डेडिकेटेड फ्रेट कॉरिडोर बना रहे हैं। साथियों, पिछले 9 वर्षों में राजस्थान का रेल बजट भी 2014 की तुलना में 14 गुना बढ़ा है। बीते 9 वर्षों में राजस्थान के लगभग 75% रेल नेटवर्क का बिजलीकरण किया जा चुका है। यहां गेज परिवर्तन और दोहरीकरण का बहुत बड़ा लाभ डूंगरपुर, उदयपुर, चित्तौड़, पाली, सिरोही और राजसमंद जैसे जिलों को मिला है। वो दिन दूर नहीं जब राजस्थान भी रेल लाइनों के 100% बिजलीकरण वाले राज्यों में शामिल हो जाएगा। भाई और बहनों, राजस्थान की बेहतर होती कनेक्टिविटी से यहां के टूरिज्म को, हमारे तीर्थ स्थलों को बहुत लाभ हो रहा है। मेवाड़ का एक क्षेत्र तो हल्दी घाटी की भूमि है। राष्ट्र रक्षा के लिए राणा प्रताप के शौर्य, बामा शाह के समर्पण और वीर पन्नाधाय के त्याग की गाथाएं इस मिट्टी के कण कण में रची बसी है। कल ही देश ने महाराणा प्रताप जी की जयंती पर उन्हें पुण्य भाव से स्मरण किया। अपनी विरासत की इस पूंजी को हमें अधिक से अधिक देश दुनिया तक ले जाना आवश्यक है। इसलिए आज भारत सरकार अपनी धरोहरों के विकास के लिए अलग अलग सर्किट पर काम कर रही है। कृष्णा सर्किट के माध्यम से भगवान श्री कृष्ण से जुड़े तीर्थों को, उनसे जुड़े आस्था स्थलों को जोड़ा जा रहा है। यहां राजस्थान में भी गोविंद देव जी, खाटू श्याम जी और श्रीनाथ जी के दर्शनों को आसान बनाने के लिए कृष्ण सर्किट का विकास किया जा रहा है। भाई और बहनों, भारत सरकार सेवा भाव को ही भक्ति भाव मानकर दिन रात काम कर रही है। जनता जनार्दन का जीवन आसान बनाना हमारी सरकार के सुशासन की प्राथमिकता है। हर नागरिक के जीवन में सुख, सुविधा और सुरक्षा को कैसे विस्तार हो, इसके लिए निरंतर काम चल रहा है। श्रीनाथ जी का आशीर्वाद हम सभी पर बना रहे, इसी कामना के साथ आप सभी को विकास कार्यों की फिर से एक बार बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। भारत माता की, भारत माता की, भारत माता की। धन्यवाद।
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. I'm Shivani Gupta, and you're watching our continuous coverage as we will bring you more ground updates on the polling that is taking place in Karnataka today. But first up, we are starting with some breaking updates coming in. First reaction from the Kerala Catholic Church on the controversial film The Kerala Story. Spokesperson of the Kerala Catholic Bishops' Council has said that the film is a work of art and the movie exposes atrocities committed by the ISIS. It cannot be so evaluated on the lines of communalism. We've got this reaction coming in. Let's listen in.
A story contains some incident that happened by the ISIS group, that militant group. They have recruited some people from Kerala. That's a fact. I don't know why these political leaders, political parties, irrespective of left and right, came up against this feature film. I think they have some vested interest. Well, really, it is for vote bank system. when somebody says about love jihad, then every eyes and ears looking to the Christian community. That's not the way to look at it. We are against this kind of love which forces the other person to convert from his or her religion to the other person's religion and do according to his or her whims and fancies. That's why we are against this particular form of love.
Well, that's a strong statement coming in from the church representative there in Kerala. Remember, it was the church in Kerala that was one of the first ones to raise an alarm on this issue of, quote, love jihad. And as the bishop is saying there, they don't have a problem with love, but love which comes with a precondition of changing at least one partner's religion and then having them do things that are not part of their life otherwise is problematic. He's also gone on to make a very important statement that those who are complaining against the film The Kerala Story seem to have vested interest, and it is vote bank politics that is dominating it. He's obviously talked about the fact that the IS has recruited individuals, men and women from Kerala. Some of them have gone in the past to fight for the ISIS, and that's a reality that cannot be denied. Let me also go across to my colleague Pradeep Pillai, News18 Kerala editor, joining us. Pradeep, very strong statement coming in from the church representative there, and they're also calling out those who are opposing the film The Kerala Story purely because of vote bank politics.
Exactly. So this, you must note, is the very first reaction, official reaction from the Catholic Church in Kerala. Father Jacob Alakapalli is the spokesperson of the Kerala Catholic Bishops' Council.
Right.
And he has come out very strongly in support of the movie and the makers of the movie, saying that, it's a work of art. And it should be better seen as such, and it's the freedom of the director and scriptwriter to script it as they please. That is one side. He also goes on to, explain that some movies are based on facts and reality, and that this movie exposes the atrocities committed by the IS. And it cannot be just called in the lines of communalism. What he points out is that why is the huge hue and cry from various political parties, including the ruling left front and the Congress-led United Democratic Front. He goes on to explain that there have been many instances of women being recruited to the IS, trapping them in the web of love. And the movie displays that, and it upsets many. And nobody brands the IS as a version of Muslims or Islam. He also says that the movie does not denigrate anyone. It's a story of Kerala, because such recruitments have happened here. And love jihad is a reality that many cannot stomach, is what Father Jacob Alakapalli reiterates. And he says that forced conversion of faith after love marriage is totally unacceptable. He said that this converted people after love marriage, if a person forces his or her partner or spouse to accept any particular religion, that's not true love. And they said that after this conversion, the people are sent to Syria or other places where the IS or militants are ruling. And he says it is a crime. He said the makers of the movie, the scriptwriters, have listened to the stories. The victims have come before the media. The families of victims have come before the media. The scriptwriter has taken this as the base for creating the movie, maybe adding a bit of fiction.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But I'm just going to come back to you, Pradeep, for how the ruling government in Kerala is going to look at this statement. Because this is, as you said, the first official reaction from the clergy, the church clergy, the Christian clergy in Kerala. But I also want to go across to Tom Varakan of the BJP joining us. Tom Varakan, you've got the Catholics Bishops' Council representative saying that those who are opposing this movie, The Kerala Story, seem to have some vested interests.
Well, from what I could understand of the statement, I haven't seen it completely, but what I understand is it's a very nuanced statement. He talks about the creativity, he talks about the ISI and the links, and that ISI should be banned. Well, it's very carefully crafted statement, and I think it is a reflection of the truth that prevails in that film. So I think it is a film that has been cleared by the censor board. I have been myself a member of the censor board and the appellate board too. So I think it has a right to be shown everywhere, and it's not to be treated the way it is being treated. The politicization of a film is indeed in bad. I see it in a bad light. Films should be seen, discussed, and the debate should follow. And it's very informative. And I think young people across the country should see it and understand the phenomenon that has taken root in this country.
Yes, and the phenomenon that you're talking about, Tom Varakan, or what this movie also hints at, is quote love jihad. Now, whether we agree with the term love jihad or not, the reality is that a lot of people have been lured for love or otherwise by friends and others, as this movie also portrays. And these are real incidents that many people, especially girls, have gone through in Kerala. But there's a huge section that doesn't want to accept that there's anything of this kind that happens, whether it's in Kerala or anywhere else in the country.
Well, interestingly, the Congress party has opposed the film, and their own chief minister, Chandi, in the House has said there were 25,000 cases of conversion into this kind of marriages. That is a matter of fact which has happened in the House in Kerala. And so has the chief minister, the left chief minister, also stated this in the House. So I don't know what the current dispensation is so worried about, whether it's about appeasement. You see, you don't get votes by banning a film. On the contrary, the film, it is an advice to the government of the day that the minute you ban, it becomes more popular. So, and then the question is, when you call it a propaganda film, a lot of other people want to see it. So these things don't work. Let the film stand on its own legs and
on its own merit. But you know, I do want to add here, the Kerala government has not actually banned this film, but there are of course reports coming in that there is undue pressure to not screen this movie in some theatres at least. So is the case in Tamil Nadu, but West Bengal is the only state that has officially banned this movie. That is also subject to legal challenge. But you know, another quick comment, Tom Varakan, I think the interesting bit about the bishop's comment also is the fact that for some people, minority in India only means a particular community. Now, the Christians are also a minority in most states. How is it that their concerns fall on deaf ears? Because they were the first ones to raise these concerns about dubious conversions.
This is a complaint the Christians have had for quite some time, and the feeling that they are also minority. But what we need to understand is this is not about a minority community or any minority community. This is about radicalized youth.
Right.
And they are the people who are involved in it. This is not about the Muslim community. This is about a section of radicalized youth who are misusing the kind of the powers that they have, the money power, the muscle power, and doing what they're doing, and being mentored by international terrorist organizations.
Tom Varakan, just stay with me. I'm joined by AIMIM leader Varis Pathan as well. AIMIM, of course, is one of those parties that has highly objected to this movie, The Kerala Story. They find it demonizing for the Muslim population in the country. But here you have a church representative, Varis Pathan, who's saying that people have a problem with this only because of vote bank politics. ISIS recruitment in Kerala is a reality. Conversions of girls to recruit them as sex slaves for the ISIS is a reality. Then why are you opposing this film?
The film is full of lies, canards, and is a propaganda film. The producer and director earlier said that 32,000 girls have been converted and sent to ISIS. And the very next day they come up that it was just a teaser and we had only story about 3 girls. So was this not lies for few bucks? You try to create hatred, try to create communal divide in the country, flare up the communal divide in our country. So they should be charged for this. When the High Court asked them, what is your, how can you come up with 32,000 girls? They said, no, we just came to know. Right? If 32,000 girls or 50,000 girls were going outside India and joining the ISIS or converted, what was the...
but do you agree that there were 3 girls who did it? In fact, the number is a little bit higher than that. But let's go by the version of the movie, that there are 3 girls who were converted from their previous religion into Islam and sent as sex slaves for the ISIS fighters. You agree on that?
What was the intelligence doing that? What was the whole...
I'm not asking you that question. I'm asking you, do you accept that reality at least, that 3 to 5 girls were sent to fight for the ISIS?
The Constitution has given the right to individual to practice religion of his own choice. And if somebody is converting of her own choice, it is for her. But here the thing is that...
But is it not a matter of concern, Varis Pathan, that these girls were then recruited to fight for the ISIS?
If recruitment was taking place in our country, if recruitment was taking place in our country, what was the National Secretary doing? What was the Home Ministry doing? Is it not their fault? And when...
If is not the question I'm asking. I'm asking you, will you at least concede? One second, will you at least concede that 3 to 5 girls were converted and sent to fight for the ISIS?
Into my mouth, 50,000 girls. If
I'm not asking you about 50,000 girls. Why are you shying away from accepting? One second, don't shout over me. Why are you shying away from accepting that 3 girls were converted and sent to fight for the ISIS? That's all I'm asking you. Forget about everything else.
NCRB data says 50,000 girls have been converted into Gujarat and sent to ISIS.
That's not true. That's not true. There is no such data.
What was the...
Varis Pathan, there is no such data.
What is the data with the producers of the Kerala story, a propaganda film to show and suggest that 32,000...
Okay, let me bring in Tom Varakan one more time if he's still with us. This is what I'm talking about, Tom Varakan. Whether it's 1, 3, 10, 15... it's the insistence to not accept that it happened in Kerala in the last 20 years itself.
The party that the spokesman he represents has a liability to answer questions. And naturally you expect answers of that kind. But you must draw his attention to the fact that the Chief Minister of Kerala, Sri Chandi, talked about a statistic, 25,000 people have been converted. Now, this is data in the House. This is what